decide to do it yourself or your girlfriend made you do it? It was like your ex-girlfriend. How about you? Was it your ex-girlfriend or was it just you that decided to do skincare? You are rare. You're like the 1 out of 1 million. But for almost every guy here who has skincare routine, it's your girlfriend or your wife that made you start to do it. And for those ones that don't have yet skincare routine, obviously you are single. Yes or yes? Ladies, you agree? No, you don't. You don't agree. Okay, well, for me, it's like I didn't have skincare routine. I had before I met my wife, but now I have like a whole plethora of products that I use and I buy frequently. So I do it morning and night. You know, it has paid off. If you see my skin before, I met her like 3 years ago, and now the Lord has done his work. So I need to give offering to her. Anyway, Oluwa the best. She ready? Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Bishop, Senior Bishop, Reverend Oluwa the best. Put your hands together. You people don't rate this guy. You don't rate this guy. I just want to let you know that I know him. I have his phone number. He's my guy. Put your hands together until he gets up this stage. Put your hands together. What's all this? People don't have respect.
It's my girl. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Are these seats for VIPs? Please, let's move forward so we can relate. Just move to the next seat in front of you. Please. Please, let's move forward. Thank you very much. Let's connect. Yeah, nice. Yeah, good morning, everybody. Like I usually say in my class, because I do teach filmmaking once in a while when I'm bored, that the most important part of conferences like this or classes like this isn't just the connection from here to here. The connection between each other also matters. So don't be too focused on trying to get information from this side of the divide that you lose out from getting or from connecting with the people you're sitting to your left and right, because that's very core. It's important. But to stop all this shalaye, let me just go to my slides. Eating this soap. Just kidding. I have my slide. So this was me in Lagos. Oh, sorry. I'll introduce myself. This was me in Lagos mid-2018 with my camera shooting. I think that was a Canon 60D that year. This was the video I shot.
I know you are. I'm a big fan.
You are going to draw your partner, right? Wait, you have to use one line, a continuous line, to draw the partner.
We need to have our own flavor of design. How many Nigerians really understand the bar of quality?
Solving our own challenges using design. Wait, you have fashion schools and you have makeup schools. Why can't we have this?
Design schools, yeah.
They're not talking, come and do
Photoshop.
Dead video, yeah. But my name is Oluwa the best. That's not my name. That's like my Instagram username. So it's not my name. But my name is Dada Temitokwe. But most people know me as Oluwa the best because Instagram. Because I'm the best. I like that. Washiri. Nice one. So what I do that currently make me money is I direct commercials and documentary for a living. Yeah, I also run like a production company where like we've been able to service some of this. All this in Alamba. happens, but like this is just writing it in a nice way so that I can present what I want to present and get out of your face. Yeah, basically, this is my show reel. This is where the work starts. So please. Can we reduce the contrast on this screen? Is it possible? Now I won't spoil my work. Sorry, my work is very visual, so how it looks is very, very important to me. Have we done that? Or we are doing that? Let me go to where there's picture to judge it. Yeah, it's still very contrasty. Very, very. Is it possible? If it's not possible, let me know. Still drop contrast. Still, the shadows, they choke. No, this brightness, not brightness. Sorry, we'll just manage it like that. If you want to see my real work, go on social media. So, let's go back.
Your online sales, payments, and transfers can go like this.
Sorry, sir. Please, I've still not seen alert. I should.
Meaning there's nobody like God.
What would your life look like if the world revolved around you? And all you had to do was keep moving towards your goals.
I am a professional photographer and the founder of Gasmati Studio.
All people say money's a spirit.
We continue to break barriers we do not need to be told.
What is small thing to grow better business for Nigeria? We need all the support we figure.
I swear to God, my works are finer than this than this in real life. These colors are not the colors on the project, but my reel is on the website. So if you go to my website, you see the original color. That's if you are not using Samsung. You see it on iPhone. Try and use iPhone to check it. If you use Samsung, sorry. Please, if you not tell me how many minutes I have, I should just go. Like I said, I'm a teacher. I can do 2 hours. But I won't do 2 hours. Don't worry. I'll be out of here in like maybe 15 minutes. Okay, so now let's go back to our. So I'm just here to break down my process and my 2 projects. So it's not like I'm here to teach. I'm here to do expire to aspire, to retire. So yeah, back to beginning. I started on my creative journey as a graphic designer. That was like my entrance into the creative space. Not really a graphic designer. Back to the beginning before the beginning. I started as a cafe attendant. I mean, there was no cyber cafe here. Yeah, OG, you don't would. Anyways, if you don't know what cyber cafe is, that means you are really young. But I started off as a cafe attendant. Those days of filling jam form in cyber cafes and all that. Just before I gained admission into Unilag. So that was like the beginning of my journey, and that was where I found graphic design. So I explored graphic design a little bit, and that's why I know this community. A little bit, made few good money from there, But I gained admission into school, and I needed something that would give me more money, because at that time, how much the graphic design? Like that. So I picked up photographer. Hey, Jesus. I picked up photography. And I began to like explore that part of majority of photographers. If you ask them, they started as graphic designer. Some of them will say because they could not find the image they want to use to do design. It's a lie. It's money. So basically, I explored photography a bit. Then I got bored. Oh Jesus, this screen is okay. I'll probably not look at the screen. I'll just focus on my phone. It's a filter. Okay, yeah. So I explored photography a bit, portrait. I did weddings. I did everything, burial at times. But I made good enough money, and I was able to go through, I think, to 300 level in Unilag, and I was able to buy this much gear just shooting photography. And it's really expensive right now. It was cheap back then, but dollar rates. Then I got bored again and picked up filmmaking. So filmmaking was like what next after photography for me. I was shooting every weekend, but it became more like manufacturing over being like being creative. So it was more like I was doing the same thing over and over again. Newsflash, I'm still doing the same thing over and over again now. But as at that point, it became like manufacturing, and I wanted more. Oliver's twist vibe. So I started exploring filmmaking, and my transition into filmmaking wasn't like profit-based, because at that point, filmmakers weren't like making as much money as photographers. But right now, we be ballers. So I started exploring different genre of filmmaking. That's what they call me. From weddings to corporate videos and all that. But it wasn't anything serious. It was just me just trying out things out of boredom and trying to get myself through school, because I was paying myself through school. Yeah, so this is like slides of my recent work. I'm just giving you some form of background of my journey before I go into my work, so you understand why my work is why it is. Yeah, so this is like a slideshow of some of my recent work. Basically, nothing serious. Just, yeah. So, yeah, I was exploring filmmaking, and then COVID happened. So COVID was like a turnaround for me, because it was a point of like pause and reflect on what can I do better, where exactly do I want to do in my life. You know that time where you're just like, what can I do in my life? So COVID was that, and I mean, there was no school, there was nothing. So I began to like explore with some of my friends, and that was when I now specialized in directing. Before then, I was doing everything. I was this one with the camera, I was one editing, I was the one doing the motion graphics, I was the one doing the text and all that. But it was COVID that just was like the specialization period for me, and I focused on directing, and that was the turning point for my career. So my first case study is this, one of my recent projects, the 9 Mobile commercial. Are we good? Am I talking to myself? Okay, I need to know. Thank you very much, because some of you are looking at me like I should get out of here. No, I'll soon be out.
So in order to push out the best content for our subscribers, we need to determine his outfit for the album cover.
Like many things in life, making great music is a process. And a key part of that is the right data, and the data that helps you understand what needs to be done and how to do it, and what sound will connect with listeners.
No, bring it up. Let's go everybody. Increase, oh, blood of Jesus.
So, whatever aspect of life you're into, enjoy the journey. 9 Mobile's got you covered.
Dial *301# now. 9 Mobile.
Yeah, so that was like 9 Mobile commercial. I was just basically just announcing Buju as their new ambassador, but finding a way to create a scene that is natural to him and doesn't look foreign. So basically my work entails these 3 things: pre-production, production, and post-production. And every stage is very important, but the most important stage in these 3 things is the pre-production stage, and that's like where I work the most. Every other thing is vibes and inshallah. But you see that pre-production, if I miss it there, I'm going to suffer through the rest of the project. So I tend to spend a lot of time and do a lot of research in that pre-production stage. And yeah, so this is how they usually send briefs to you. Agencies, just random lines that sometimes doesn't make sense, and your work as a director is to make it make sense. Some vague lines, like they might write a script that requires like 1 hour to make the audience understand what you're trying to do. But as a director, your work is to be able to compress that script into what will make sense in 1 minute. So I don't write scripts because that's not my work. The agency does the writing, and I build on that to what the audience can relate to. I do write scripts sometimes, but majorly I don't write scripts. Jesus. Anyways, this is like what my director's treatment looks like. So in the process of getting the brief and executing, I do a lot of research, try to look for reference video, try to just basic research around what I'm trying to create and how I want it to look. And the only way to articulate that to the client is by creating a director's treatment, which is basically how you want to execute these scripts that they've sent to you. So for my treatment, it's usually very visual and very like specifics. I go like very deep in. Will you loop again? Okay, I just wanted to show you to loop again. I go like very deep in breaking down scene to scene, how I want to execute it, how I want it to look. And yeah, so this is like some of the reference of what the treatment looks like. Then after the treatment has been approved by the client and they sent money, because if they don't send money, we don't proceed to the next step. That's when I now go more detailed into like creating like a short list. So this is like what my short list looks like. Yeah, just breaking down scenes. So what you see here is 1 to 3 times 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 times 4. No, sorry, 6 times 4. 24. So once I have 24 frames, my commercial is complete. So I don't go to like, I don't go on set with vibes, even though I said it's vibes on inshallah. I don't go on set with vibes. I go on set with specifics because I know that is what will make the story. So I don't go, I'm not the director that go on set and I'll get to set and I'll now be discovering new angles. I don't do that because I mean there's client money at work and you don't want to waste time. So you have 1 day to execute this one. At times it's multiple location, at times it's 1 location. For this particular project, it's just 1 location, but you have multiple scenes in that location and it has to make sense. And it has to represent the brand aesthetics and all that. So I go very specific in which frame I want, what I want the actors to be doing at that particular time, how I want it to look. Some of these shots are like lighting reference and all that. And this is very important to me. It's like the most important step before production for me, because if I don't have this, I'm not ready to go. And I do this for almost everything I do, be it commercial, be it documentary, be it even at times I go that crazy and I develop this for events. Yeah, so production itself, this is like the BTS of production.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, and alright, 3, 2, 1, and action. Got it. For safety, making great music in the process. Really beautiful, stand up and walk around. Let's go. Don't start camera. So, whatever aspect of life you're into, enjoy the journey. Man always got you covered.
Oh, girl, I need a moment.
In the moment with you, my babe. She not something where I don't say. I make you know, one look my face today. Then in the moment with you, my babe. She not something where I don't say. I make you know, one look my face today. She be something I don't say. You know, picking my call.
That's it. Anyways, no, that's not the end of my presentation. That's like the end of the BTS. But thank you for clapping. So on set is just random people. At times about 100 people just walking around. Some of them don't know what they are doing, but a lot of people know what they are doing on set. Just trying to figure out how to get the best out of the production. Shout out to Jordan below. I think he's presenting tomorrow. He was the production designer for this project and set designer and all that. And shout out to Fedworks, he was the DOP. So basically that's like what production entails. Then post-production, this is another stage that's is either regret or being thankful that you got the shot. So if you did not do production and pre-production well, at this stage is where you'll be regretting your life and thinking of how to fix your mistakes, or you are excited that you got it right and you don't have to stress yourself. So in order to avoid the stress in this stage of production, those first pre-production and post and production itself is very core. So when people say it's a wrap on set, that's for them, not for the director, because that's like the beginning for you. You are now left to you going to prove to the client that what you said you're going to do, you did it. So let me stop talking. Post-production entails just this thing, DIT, just backing up the file, because that's very important. It's as important as getting the budget of the project. If you miss any file, it means that you're going back to set. So backing up the file, technically I back up in 3 drives when I have the luxury. When I don't have the luxury, 2 drives, because it's important. Don't let the devil come for you. Then there's editing and supervising. When I'm not editing the project, which I don't do most times now, I just give it to an editor and create some form of guideline. I'm supervising, so at times I send in first draft of how I want the story to play out, and I allow them now input their own creativity into it. Then there's VFX breakdown. When the editor is done and the client has approved that, we're going to VFX breakdown. Then there's music scoring. Get it to a music producer to develop the sound. But for this particular project, we had the song already before we went to set, so it was before, it was not in post-production, it was pre-production. Then finishing just ensuring that everything is in check. Just ensuring that the video is good and ready to hit the ground running. So this is like my reference, some of my reference in pre-production that we later adapted in post-production. The phone angle, how we intend to approach the transition of the music producer, laptop screen replacement and all that. This is just to show you the background work. So I'm very, very intentional with my references so that everybody understand what they are doing, and it's easier because nobody's doing guesswork. I have another project too. They say I should round up. So I'll just round up with this one then. So this is what like the rough first cut looks like. I didn't put sound there, so you can see some elements that we needed to take out in VFX, from track on the floor to what the raw footage looks like that has not been graded. There's no VFX yet, so you see text on screen that entails like how we intend to do the transitioning and all that. So this is like a guide for also the VFX. So this is what we send to the client as like first cut draft, so they understand the flow. And I think this is after VFX is done. So you can see that the track is no longer there. The lights showing up there is no longer there. So this is the one we'll take to the sound music score team to develop and to the colorist to finish, basically. I'll just let this play to the end so we see like the work that has gone through the entire process and all that. It's like a 30 seconds ad and all that. So this has not been replaced yet. We later replace this. Yeah, this is the graded version.
So in order to push out the best content for our subscribers, we need to determine his outfit for the album cover.
Like many things in life,
Yes?
making great music is a process. And a key part of that is the right data, and the data that helps you understand what needs to be done and how to do it, and what sound will connect with listeners.
Bring it up. Let's go everybody see.
So, whatever aspect of life you're into, enjoy the journey. Nine Mobile's got you covered.
Dial star 301 hash now. 9 Mobile.
Yeah, so that's the project. I'm just going to stop here. I was going to do case study 2, but I said my time is up. Yeah, that's what my work entails basically. From
Put your hands together for Oluwa the best. You are not clapping like you enjoyed this talk. Clap like you just delivered the message. Clap from under your legs. All right. Anybody has questions?
Why are you threatening people to clap?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, the best. Okay, so quick one. You said when you were speaking to production and production, post-production, have there been any case where during your post-production you realized that you had made a mistake in your production, and what did you do about it?
There's every case, every time. So it's not like has there been every time. For this one, was there like a mistake in? So I try to let me be serious. I try to minimize mistakes as much as possible, and I try to be like I try to run like my production like a military camp, whereby what I've showed everybody that we're doing is what we're doing, because I'm the one that is going to face post-production if we don't do it. So yeah, I'm open to your suggestion. You can bring your suggestion, but at least let's get what I have here first, because I'm sure that with this I can develop I can defend my video to the client. So yeah, there's been cases where there are things that happened in post-production that we had to fix because we didn't get it right in pre-production and production. For example, the OctaFX ad, the ball transition from the tennis court to the orange court, it was not my mistake. We had a VFX person on set that was supposed to supervise how we're able to achieve that. And he brought his suggestion, and I didn't even further research. I just said, this is what you are sure that if you have these 2 shots, we can do it. He said, no problem. So we got to post-production, and the transition was not transitioning. Because I developed that transition. It was not like the client sent it. I had a reference for it. I wanted to achieve it, but it was not transitioning. So what we had to fix was that transition. We had to go to Google Earth. We're supposed to do a drone shot that would zoom out of that pitch, and that would be like our reference for the transition, but we didn't get that. So in post-production, I was like, should I go to Surulere Stadium? I'm going to fly these drone shots now, and you'll find a way to superimpose the character in the scene. He said, no, don't worry, that he was going to try something. Then if it doesn't work, we'll explore the drone shot. So he tried Google Earth, and it worked. So that's like an instance where it was like but some of these mistakes, to be honest, the clients will not even know, because they just want to see their logo on a fine video and move on. But I mean, you will know because you're a creative and there's a standard of quality you're trying to deliver that they don't. Sometimes Nigerian clients don't really care. As long as the video is good, sound is good, because at times that's why sometimes you have director's cuts, because they've changed the story when it's coming out. So you have to save yourself and still have like your own story that you're trying to tell, because I mean they're paying you for this. It's not like you used your money to develop that. Talking a lot, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. This is the last question that we will take, and then after that I will ask my own question, except this question you're asking is the same question I want to ask.
All right, thank you very much for the presentation. I wanted to understand your process for gathering references, because you showed like the references you had, and I wanted to know how how granular it is? Like, do you always know exactly what you're looking for? What does that process really look like? Is there also storyboarding in your case?
Yeah, so I don't do storyboarding. I prefer to use like specifics, because storyboarding can be vague. It can just be some lines that doesn't have like light reference, color reference, and all that. So I prefer to go on set with specifics. So it will help everybody in general. The DOP knows like the angle is trying to take. He knows like the light reference is trying to work. The costumier knows like the colors of clothes and all that. And gathering reference for me is not a one-day thing. It's a journey. I've been gathering reference since 2020. I have a folder on my laptop that is called, I won't tell you the name, in case you have my laptop so you don't steal all my references. But I have a folder on my laptop that has roughly about maybe 3,000 commercials and documentaries that I've downloaded. So, and I have a mental note of what the video on that folder looks like. So if I get a brief today and I know that I have, because I mean, Ecclesiastes, there's nothing new under the sun. Nobody's trying to create anything that has not been created before. Yes, is that you don't know where that thing is, or you don't know how to find it. So I have references for days. So when I get a brief, I already like scrolling through my reference mentally to know if I have something that is similar to that. And at times the reference is not just one video. It's like a combination of like maybe 8 videos. Okay, I like the opening scene of this. And it's not necessarily videos. I also get references from like art. At times I go for exhibition and I see how they use the use of colors and all that. I take a picture and when I'm doing like my treatments, that is what I'm trying to reference in terms of use of color. At times from photography. So, and there are also like websites where if you're stuck, you can go on those websites and just search keywords. Okay, I'm looking for sports commercial. It's come out. I'm looking for this. It's come out. But I don't like to always depend on that alone, because I like to. So every day I have a ritual. Every day I download at least one video to add to that folder. And it's not like just, oh, I need to download video today. I'll go and download. No, it's like a video that I'm looking to create something that looks like that. So I download to that folder every day, and I've been doing that since 2020. Yeah. And I learned that from Jordan. Jordan is also my reference guy. If I need a reference that I don't have, and I just message Jordan, I'm looking for this. In 2 hours, Jordan has sent me like 4 videos. So in case you are looking for references too, maybe you should message Jordan.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Put your hands together for him. What? I changed my mind. I'll ask him the question in private so that only me will get the answer. Then I cannot tweet about it like I know something. Do you get it? If you don't get it, yeah. Anyway, so we're going to do a little bit of a warm-up session real quick. So which one should we do? 2 things you guys can choose. Do we do a rapid-fire question and answer, and you win a gift, or no, I'm not. You know what? I'll decide, because you will choose the one that has gift, and then I will not be owing you money. So, so everybody, please get up. When you stand up, please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up. Real quick. Stand up. Keep your laptops. Keep your phone. No, put your phone in your pockets, but keep your laptop in front of you so you can see it, just in case, you know. But I know you're safe and all that. So, are you ready? We're going to do something that we used to do in primary school, right? Are you all ready? If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, and you really want to show, if you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, say hurrah. You people are not happy. You sound like, can you get off the stage, please? Let's try it again. If you're happy and you know, say hurrah. You're still fake. Let's try one more time. If you're happy and you know, say Lekki. Okay. What should I say? If you're happy and you know, say Amala. Amala, no. Amala. Huh? Okay, last try. If you're happy and you know, say money. Look at you people. All right. If you're happy and you know, shake your neighbor. No, I didn't say shake your neighbor like shake or like handshake. Oh, please don't shake somebody and shake the food that they've eaten this morning out of their stomach. All right, everyone, sit down. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Put your hands together for yourselves. Okay, so the next person we're going to have on stage, his name is Promise Ogbonna. He's going to do a case study presentation. It's only for 15 minutes, so it won't be long. After that, we'll have another break for like about 10 minutes. And then from there, we'll watch something interesting on the screen. Something I'm really, really excited to show to you guys. And then after that, we would, go to the next roundtable session, which will have like chairs on the stage, and we'll have like more people talking at the same time, and I can give everybody more options to answer questions. So, are you ready for the next session? You people are not ready? No? Are you ready for the next session? Okay. Also, there's a VR. Is it AR or VR? Instagram filter. What is it? Just say from there. I can hear you. Is it AR filter or VR filter? Francis. It's both. Okay, so there's an AR VR filter on Instagram that we have. We'll put up the thing on the screen shortly so you can scan the code, and then as well let the organ that knows it then come and talk about it. Put your hands together for Francis, please.
Hi guys, my name is Francis. So we have our creative feature down there. So we build some experiences for XR for the event. So we build a virtual reality exhibition. Most of us are go to ArtX, all this kind of thing. You come there and come and experience it. And also we build on this screen, please. We build an AR filter that you can use on your Instagram. We did 3 different directions that you can use. And also, we did an AR poster that you can augment with your phone as well. So, but the one you can experience while sitting down now is the AR filter that they will put up for you to scan and tag us. And during lunch, during break, you can come to the creative feature there where you can experience the, we have like 3 Oculus headsets where you can experience the XR experience. Thank you. Okay, just scan. All this was created within the Lagos Meets team. I led the team to achieve the experience. So, is it working? Are you sure? If it's not working, just know that Meta has a bug. It's not us, but it's working. It should work. Yeah, what about the third one? Just to, okay.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for scanning. Anybody couldn't scan? If your phone could not scan it, update your OS. Okay, anyway, without wasting any more time, we will bring up the next person, Promise Ogbonna of 6 Ones. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Promise Ogbonna.
Hi guys, good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Promise. So I just want to demo a product. I want to showcase a product called Sienna. It's an autonomous customer service. So it's a bit janky here. Don't mind the screen. So I want to show how this works. We use it to, our brands use this to automate customer service. So I'm just going to send a message here. There's the demo course. I hope that doesn't work today. So I'm going to ask this the start of my order. not my order. So she shops kind of in real time, but just in case my guys will refresh this. Let's give it a bit. Can you scroll down? Scroll this down, yeah. Okay, so I sent a message here. Hi, just where's my order? But it's able to understand that I'm asking about an order, and it says, hi, I'll be happy to help you with any questions regarding your order. Kindly share your order number. So my order number is 1107. Okay, so just give us a second. Can I refresh? Okay. So yeah, just scroll that down. Okay, so he did this. That's why we had messed up the order number. Blah blah blah. Seems though there's a bit of an issue with the order number or whatever. But yeah, this is a service that it's called Sienna. Can you just go to the slides? We use this to. The next slide. The next one. Yeah, so we use Sienna to automate customer service for brands. So we have brands who sign up on our service, they integrate with whatever service they are using, and then we connect this to us, and then we're able to automate conversations, do things like get your order from Shopify, cancel an order, which I wanted to show, but that didn't work, and many other things. Can you go to the next slide? So these are brands who use us, and these are real customers here. So there's a brand called Verb. I think they sell coffee or something. And then we had a user say, hey, whatever. And then Sienna is able to understand this and respond accordingly. So this is a coffee brand. They do coffee, whatever. And then Sienna, well, we call it Sienna, but we enable brands change the name or whatever I wanted to call to your customer. And then it's able to understand and respond with that. This is the next one. This is Kitsch. I'm not sure why this is not showing up. Can you go to the next one, please? I don't know why it last on the shop, but yeah, this is Simple Modern, also one of our customers. Here they were having like a talk through with their customer agents, I think, telling them how they've used Sienna to do a lot more. So I really wanted to show the product, but that just kind of glitched in a bit. But it doesn't do this for these guys. That's a dev environment or whatever. So yeah, so this is a product that we've built from, let's say, before ChatGPT started, or not before it started, before it came into mainstream. We've used multiple techniques, LLMs. We've experimented with that before there was ChatGPT, just to try and see how can we automate the conversational process. We started a brand called Catloop. We had a brand called Catloop that we did some form of concierge for brands where brands could come in and we offer some form of customer support to them. But quickly we are not able to scale that. And then the next question was, how can we scale this? And we started this with the first line of code. We wrote that in November last year. That's about a year now. And I don't know if I can say this, but we've gotten in from brands. We've gotten about in revenue $1 million. I think we've crossed that by last month. Yeah, and Also in September, we raised 4.7 M. I think 4.2, 4.7, I can't remember. So yeah, so I don't know if I can try another demo. Can you just go back to that main screen? Kind of next to work, let me see. Oh, the first side, the demo side, the product side. No, the screen before this one. Nope. The other, yeah. Yeah, just slide to the next one. If you slide this thing, go to the other side. 2 fingers, yeah, left. It's on the second screen. It's on the other screen, not the screen. You're able to. Sorry, let me just come down like this. Yeah. So I'm just going to send a message here. Okay, so we do some form of intent recognition here, where a user sends a message, and then we understand or we detect what the message is, and then we then pass it to. I mean, there's a lot of processes that run into this. It's not just one thing. We even do some form of we call it QA. We query what we are giving out. How good is your answer? So it's able to learn itself and like tell itself, oh, the answer I provided here is wrong. Can you provide a better answer? So can you scroll down? Let's see. Scroll down here. Scroll this. Yeah, scroll down. Now you should just scroll up or down. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I want to know the status of my order. It detected the intent. Where is my order? And then provided this. Thank you for reaching out. I've checked your order placed on November, and I've confirmed it's in queue to be fulfilled. I mean, that's what it's called Shopify. So yeah, that was a successful demo, more or less. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. So yeah, I think I'm through. With questions, whatever, want to know how this works, whatever kind of question. Yeah, sure. Okay, I can't say. I can't say a lot, but I'll say what I can say. So we use like a lot of when you hear LLMs, first thing that comes to your mind is OpenAI, ChatGPT. So we've kind of built on these technologies. So what we do is, like I said, we do intent recognition first. So we're able to detect what's the intent of this message. Knowing the status of my order is the intent of this message. And then we're able to combine that with, there's something we call, I just like what it's called. We call this Governor GPT. It's a form of, it's an orchestrator. It's something that determines what to do and when to do it and how to do it. So you send your order. It doesn't just look, if you check here, you can see this user has an account. Well, this is me. I have an account on Shopify. I have a recharge, or I have subscriptions on Shopify. I have recharge, I have Stay High. These are all subscription services that this brand uses. So this service is able to know what does the user want and what service do I use. It doesn't just casually go in and just check, oh, what's the style of my order? I mean, why didn't you use this? Why didn't you use this? Why didn't you use it? Why Shopify? So it's able to understand this is what to use and this is how to use it. Also, I don't want to do any other demo, but there are cases where you can send a message and then it's able to know this is kind of beyond my power. I'm going to give this to an actual customer service human now. It's also a customer side, but now to a human being who can deal with that better. So I don't say too much, but just off the bat, we use more than one thing. There's intent recognition going on here. There's response generation. There's and know how to react. So if I was to send with multiple question marks, I mean that will show anger. It's able to know this person is angry. How best do I talk to him? So in the use cases I showed, I actually wanted to show how examples where this was used. I mean that didn't show up, but we've had cases where humans were not able to identify if this was AI, if it was AI or a human being. It just responded, oh, thank you for providing support, or thank you for doing this, and yeah.
Thank you very much, Obin. Thank you very much, Promise. Please put your hands together for him. Have you been blessed? It's time for offering. Please put the church account on the screen. And if you want to pay with POS, we have POS and this thing at the back. It's 100 naira for below 5,000 and 200 naira above 5,000. You can also pay to our, what do you call it? No, not OP. You know, churches now have, what do you call that thing in America? Zelle. What's the other one? Cash App. Churches now have Cash App and things like that. So, anyway, we're going to welcome somebody to quickly introduce their business. Something very interesting, smart business cards. But you get a chance to win a smart business card, just one person. He will ask you a question that I've told him to ask you people that I know the majority of everybody here will fail. And you only have 5 seconds to figure out the answer. But I will be the one to ask the question so that I can tell you the instruction before, because I don't want you people Googling the answer. Sugar? Yeah, so he's the founder of Connect on the Go. He's a result-driven financial trader and blockchain enthusiast with 2 years plus of experience that spans across different class assets, as well as passion for building Web3 solutions. He possesses exceptional work ethics with a keen eye for error and attention to details. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Frank Olawale Fagbo, founder of Connect on the Go. Clap now. Do you think it's easy to be founder?
Thank you very much. That's so much. Hi guys. Good afternoon. Amazing session we've had. A lot of speakers have come here, a lot of designers, and I love the creative ingenuity that they've put into their work. And I really want to say, I want to take this opportunity to really appreciate everyone's creativity and also appreciate everyone for coming out here. A round of applause for yourselves again. So my name is Frank, and there was something we realized about networking, and we've come to realize that a lot of creatives and people in the tech space, creatives also, because of the virtue of the fact that I've had some experiences in the media. So you meet creative, and when they go to events, we'll try as much as possible they try as much as possible to just stay around themselves. So they find it difficult to connect with people, clients, people who they know that, okay, these guys are movers and shakers of industries, marketing managers who you think you can get gigs from. So if you're a designer or you're a vision, you're a VFX person, or someone in the creative space, why don't you get a better way to network? And that's how we decided to start what we call Connect on the Go. And the way Connect on the Go works is, once you go to an event, rather than having to go ahead with like 100 cards, you know you're going to an event and you're going to meet like potential investors or potential customers or potential clients, rather than going with just one with 50 cards that you share across board, why don't you just go with one card? And that one card, all you need to do is just to tap on their phones. And when you tap on their phones, they get access to all your creative work, your entire portfolio. You're a designer, you're a videographer, everything about your work will just be in one card. And once you tap, they get access to all of that. So imagine you networking with someone that way. It just gives you some kind of status symbol. They know, hey, this person knows exactly what he's doing. And so that's what we've just come here to tell a lot of creatives, that you can get it in 24 hours and just toss it basically. So we're gonna be giving out one of the card. This is how it comes. It comes in this pack. This is how it comes. So we're gonna be giving out one of these cards. I asked him for the criteria and he said, we're going to be asking a question. So I was thinking there was going to be like a competition, maybe the best or something, but you said you're going to ask a question. So he's going to ask the question, and whoever answers, whoever gets it correctly will win the Smart Business card. The what is 22,500 naira. That is the what. So it's up to you to be able to answer the question and get it right. So how do we go about it?
If I answer the question myself, I can just answer the question.
You can be the referee and also be on the playing field.
I can rig the vote now. I'm no INEC. Okay, so you have 5 seconds to answer this question. And if everybody drop your phones, if I see you talk using your phone, wallahi, you can't win it.
I think it's better I show them how it works so they will understand the concept.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is how it works. You meet somebody for the first time, all you need to do is just tap.
And then it shows the link, and then you can click on the link, and then
they get access to your entire portfolio. They can save your contact that way. Go to your Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, any link you want to add to it. You get your entire portfolio. You can add it to it, and that's it on the go. So it's your digital, your creative identity on the go.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Everybody drop your phones. In fact, let me see your hands up, everybody. Everybody.
Somebody is
not.
See you.
I'm seeing people that are not putting your hand up. Oh. I'm seeing you people. Put your hand up like you want to collect blessing from God. Come on now, can I get an amen? 5 seconds. When was OpenAI founded? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, nobody
got it.
My goodness, why?
Nobody got
Someone said 2019.
Time up. Nobody got it.
Okay, I think we'll come back later and give them another question.
We'll try another one now. The answer is
2015.
2015. 11 December 2015.
No, nobody said 2015.
I didn't hear it. If I heard it, I would have. Okay. Next question. This one is only me that know the answer. What is my favorite brand in the world? Anybody else? Anybody? What did you say? Adidas. Google Pixel. I said favorite brand, not favorite product. Anybody else? Tesla. Obviously, you came late because people that came early know that I don't like Tesla. But he said Apple first, so he wins it. Clap for him now.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah, so
if you had said, let me say, sorry. If you had said Akachi, if you had said Polestar, my car brand, like the one I like, I would have given you instead of giving this guy. I would have read the vote for your favor. What?
Oh my. Okay, so congratulations, man.
Put your hands together for him once again. So you know, you will hold him to collect your. It's not me you hold, it's him.
Yeah. So you go to our platform. Let me give you my number, my contact. You place an order, and in 24 hours you get it. So that's just it, basically. What's your name, by the way? Okay.
What's your full name? No, what's your full name? Osamuja. It's funny because his name and my brother, him and my brother bear the same name. But it's okay. Anyway, thank you everyone for participating in the game. So we'll do one more exercise and then we can go to the next session. So Everyone, ladies and gentlemen, please rise up on your feet. Let's share the grace. Yeah, now everybody, ladies and gentlemen, stand up on your feet. Yeah. Eh? What did you say? Say it now. I'm not a founder. I don't. Okay. All right. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions, right? But before I ask the questions, let's do this exercise. There's one primary song we used to do in primary school. I can't remember the something now. What's that Head and Shoulder Leader so song? Garrett. Because I forgot my primary school for, it's been a long while. Yeah, are you ready? Yep. My head, my shoulder. Yeah? Oh, sorry. My head, my shoulder, my knees, my... See them. Is it primary school or Sunday school? All right, everybody sit down. Thank you. So, question. When was the first edition of Lagos Meets? Where was it? Work station is in VI, it's not Lekki, but okay. Who is the convener of... Wait now, let me answer. Oh. You are the people that used to finish first in class. Okay. What agency? What's the name of Coca's? There's somebody popularly known as the Brandfather. What is his real name? He's popularly known as the Brandfather. What is his real name? It starts with an S. Obviously, an OG because, it's young cats. Don't know. Anyway. Last question. Name anybody, just, can answer this question. Name one designer who is from Nigeria that works in a popular branding firm in America, in the UK, in America, that has offices in the UK, and I worked with some of the biggest brands in the world. I have not finished asking the question. Okay, I'll drop this mic and go. Now, he's a Nigerian, right? And he works in this branding firm. What's his name? Anybody? Don't cross the answer. Just raise your hand so I can see the answer. Anybody? Who's the person? Anybody can guess? Huh? He works in Pentagram. Shahid doesn't work in Pentagram. He collaborated with Pentagram, but doesn't work in Pentagram. Anybody wants to take the guess? You don't know him? He's a Nigerian that works in Pentagram. Really? Yes. His name is even Nigerian. He didn't even hide it. If I say the answer, you will give me $1. And if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's about $50. It's not enough. Maybe $10. I got it in what? And then I'm not giving you the answer now. His name is Eddie Opara. Eddie Opara, he works in Pentagram. He's a Nigerian. Okay, last question. Okay, I'm just kidding. Anyway, next session is called A Roundtable on Creative Excellence, Making Work That Does Not Suffer. It's a session taken by the Brandfather, aka Soji. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Soji as he comes up to the podium.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. 1 minute. Yeah. All right, good afternoon once again, everybody. My name is Soji, also known as the Brand Father, and I'm very happy to be here. I can see some familiar faces. So this is supposed to be a roundtable session, meaning that we are all supposed to have this conversation together. So I'll just come closer. Chief, do we have another mic? Okay. Yes. So, my original plan for this session has to be changed a little bit because we have a much shorter time. Yeah, so we are going to be talking about creative excellence. We are going to be talking about creative excellence, making work that does not suffer. Honestly, when I got that topic, I didn't understand that subtopic, making work that does not suffer. But at least I understand the concept of creative excellence. Yeah, so I believe we can have this conversation together. Okay. All right. So, I have a slide, but we will not wait for this slide because we don't even have as much time. All right. So the first thing is, I have a few questions. So if you have an answer or a response, please just raise your hand. Otherwise, I can pick anybody from the crowd. So be ready to be picked at any point. And I'll particularly pick you if you are shy. So try not to have a shy face. All right. So yeah, my first question is, how do you measure excellence in your field of play? So as a designer, whatever type of designer you are, what qualifies as creative excellence in your field specifically? So just tell us your name, what you do, and what your answer or response is. Mike, please. Okay.
Okay, my name is Samuel Papa, yeah, and I'm a music producer, and my answer is consistency rather.
Consistency?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so please you can go to the slide where that question is asked. Yeah. Next. All right, thank you. All right, your answer is consistency. Okay, so here's how this session is going to go. Nobody's answer is gold. Like if you don't agree, if you disagree, feel free to raise your hand. Or if you want to object to their answer or you have a follow-up to their response, please feel free. Okay, so when you say consistency, please, can you still hold the mic? When you say consistency, like, what do you mean? Can we measure consistency? Like, to say that, okay, this is excellent because it has been consistent.
Okay, I just believe that anything that you do recurrently, it's bound to getting better. So, that's the measure of excellence I see. Because I'm saying it from my perspective, in the sense that where I was as a music producer 3 years ago is not where I am now, and it's not where I'll be 2 years from now. So I believe that consistency has that effect, measuring excellence.
All right, thank you very much. Your name again?
Samuel Papa.
Samuel. All right, so this is how we are going to clap for anybody that gives any response. I would say 1, 2, 3, and you chorus nice. So let's try that out now. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so for Samuel, 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Any other answer? All right. I think the next person has to be a woman. You know, this is an equal industry.
Ladies.
All right.
Lady.
He raised his hand.
But it's
No,
not a
after
lady.
him. After him. Yeah.
Okay, hi, my name is Obi.
Obi.
So for me, it's impact on the users. What your work? What's the impact on the users?
Your name? What you do?
O-B.
What do you do?
Oh, sorry. I'm a 3D animator.
3D animator.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellence is about the impact on the emotional impact, social impact, spiritual impact. What sort of impact?
The usage actually, in general. The usage in general.
Usage. I don't think I fully get it. Does anybody understand exactly what he means? Yeah.
My name is Timilay, and I'm a brand designer. So I would say a better way of putting what you just said is relevant. Yeah. So yeah, to the users, like the why, the what. Yeah, why are you doing this? Why is this going out there? What problem is it solving? And things like that.
Interesting. So far nobody has said it's about how the finesse of the color and the shapes and all of those things. Seems like we have philosophers in this room. This is amazing. All right, next answer.
No,
Thank you, Obi.
It has to be a lady. So
yeah, it has to be a lady.
It has to be a lady. You wanna? Okay.
My name is Shamane, and I'm a writer. I think one thing that's commonly used to measure excellence in fiction, in literature, is the longevity. And I don't personally feel that that's foolproof. There's lots of reasons why, incidentally, a piece of literature might not, quote unquote, stand the test of time. But I think that's one of the conventions, in my field at least.
That's interesting. So longevity. I mean, it means that we cannot tell until like 100 years after you are gone. Interesting. That is scam. That is... well, that's a good one. Anyways, any other? One more response. Oh, yeah.
Should I attempt to answer the question?
Yes, please. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So, I would say there's two sides to measuring excellence. There's external and there's internal. Externally, excellence can be measured. So, for example, I'll use social media. For example, if you're a content creator or you create content or you post content, measuring excellence can be, you used to post videos once a week and the colors were not bright or your sound was really poor. After 6 months, your sound is better, your colors are better, even the way you edit is better. That's measurement of excellence in some sense. Measurement of excellence could also be your numbers of followers, right? You've been doing it for a long while and then you now have more followers. That's another way. Another measurement of excellence can also be monetary value. It can also be, okay, you used to charge 70,000 naira to do a logo before. Now you've learned, some new things about branding and design and all that. Now you charge probably 700,000 or 1 million or 7 million naira, whatever. But you understand branding a little bit more than just logo, even in your conversation with your client. So again, it's the way to measure excellence in your field is there are a lot of ways to go around it, but metrics for it. But I think most of the best ways to look at it, especially when it's external, is of course your numbers of followers, the amount you're charging for work, the time it takes you to do work. Before it could take you five weeks to do a logo or 2 weeks to do a logo, but you understand branding and you understand that branding can take you 1 year, 2 years to do proper branding. So again, that could be some sort of measurement of excellence.
Awesome, thank you. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Please, do you charge 70 or 700 or 7 million?
USD.
Which bracket do you fall in?
USD. The upper one.
Thank you very much. Okay. So from his answer, he said a number of things, and I feel like there is 1 or 2 things that you all may not agree with. If you listened well, was there anything? Okay, that's good.
Hello everyone, my name is Olafemi, and then I think I do not agree in terms of using number of followers to qualify excellence. Because, for example, when you asked about Eddie Okpara from Pentagram, we can categorically say that no one literally knows Eddie Okpara. But does that mean it doesn't do excellent work? So that's also one. And then another example is trying to use social media validation. To be honest, I think the kind of validation we get on social media these days is trying to like help people and to push them to do better and not to validate that their work is excellent. So for my own perspective, I think we need to like really define what really is excellence and then not cutting down on the quality of work. That's how I tend to like look at what excellence means. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, your name and your response.
I'm Fadil Yusuf. So for me, I think to measure excellence is actually by the defined goal for every project. You know, you're a product designer, you're trying to solve a problem. What is the problem? Or for whatever project you want to do, there is a stated goal. Or for example, what's it called? DaBest did a case study here, and it was just to unveil Buju in a very creative way, right? For Nine Mobile. Did the advert actually did that? Yes, and I think that's when you can say you've achieved excellence. So it is, I think excellence is measured by the set goal and the outcome. When you put them side by side, that's when I think you can measure excellence. And for someone that says that consistency or improvement, yes, when you're starting out, what is your goal? Oh, I want to understand the basics and be able to implement it, and I did that. For that period in time, you are excellent as per your level. When you keep going, the excellence keep like improving and keep getting better. So I think excellence is the measure of your set goal and the outcome that you achieved.
1, 2, 3. Nice. I love the answer. So it says excellence is a process, you know, so you can be excellent at the level that you are, and then excellence is also based on the defined goal or outcome that the project is supposed to achieve. And then so nice. Thank you very much.
Do you want me to defend my answer?
Okay. So I'm just going to merge. I'm Aderemi. I'm a brand designer. Have I ever done carpentry work? No, not yet. Okay, I'm a brand designer. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to talk about consistency, right? So I feel that excellence is just being consistent with delivering good work, right?
What's good work? Excellent
work. Good work. Okay, so I'm still going to borrow from what you said. So I've borrowed consistency. I'm going to borrow from what you said about.
Are you ChatGPT?
I'm referencing them.
Right.
So good work could be quality work. It works for people.
What's quality work?
It works for people. That means it meets the intended goal.
Okay.
Right. But I'm still going to stick with that consistency. Right. When you keep doing that good work, then I can tag it as being excellent at what you do.
Okay.
Right. But if it's just once or twice, I don't think that is in my own case.
All right. Thank you very much, Carpenter. All right. If you are free to respond to his answer, and then I'll go to the next question.
Okay.
Yes. We don't have much time.
Yeah. I'm your timekeeper, so.
Okay.
So real quick, the definition of excellence is actually the quality of being outstanding or extremely good, right? Now, interestingly, I know Oluwadebeste enough to have seen him grow from his early days till now, and I can tell you a few things from his life. I wish he was here to say that these are the things that sort of signify excellence in practice of field. I've seen his earlier works and I've seen his works now. Now, again, measurement of excellence might not necessarily be the numbers on social media. I agree.
You are not defending the objection. You have not go after. Go after the tackle.
But he said social media now. That's what I'm.
Yeah, now.
So, yes, social. You are right on one point, but just because you don't know Eddie Opara doesn't mean he doesn't do excellent work. That's correct. However, I think that if depending on what your context is, if again measurement of excellence in your field of practice is, are you getting more clients? Are people asking you to do work for them? Are you improving in your deliverable for work? Are more clients trusting you based on your previous work? Those are, yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, so far it seems like the metric of excellence is subjective to a degree, and it's contextual per field of play. All right, so I have one more question. All right. Okay, so there's a context to this question. Some people say many businesses, especially Nigerian businesses, can survive without excellent creative work. First of all, do you guys agree? If you disagree, please raise your hand. Okay, everybody agrees. So, in that case, what then is the point of creative excellence? If what you are doing is essentially for business sake, to help businesses, but businesses can survive and thrive without you, what is your usefulness? Yes. He.
The guy with the glasses.
Yes.
All right.
Your name, your matric number. Okay, sorry.
Okay. My name is Obi.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm a designer, product designer turned startup founder. Right.
Great.
So, the truth is that businesses can survive without excellent design. In fact, they are the kind of businesses that even pay the most for design. Right. So the point of creative excellence is leaving money on the table. Right. Say for example, a business without excellent design can be doing a revenue of maybe, let me say every month, $20,000 in monthly recurring revenue. And when they bring in branding, proper product design, right, and with proper marketing too, which is very important, right, that business can move from a monthly recurring revenue of $20,000 to $100,000 every month, right? So that is the point of creative excellence, right? You're going to be leaving money on the table when your design is not excellent, even though businesses can still make money without having excellent design. Thank you.
So it's a missed opportunity. 1, 2, 3. Does anybody disagree with him in any way? All right. You seem to have the golden buzzer. Does anybody have another answer to this question that is different from what he just said? Or he has given us the final answer and everybody can move on? All right.
Yeah, okay. I think it's just that thing as well as... My name is Osaz, sorry. I'm a product designer. I think it's also that thing as humans where you want to aspire to more, like beyond your primal needs. Like you've met the most basic things. It's like, you know what else can we do? How do we push the envelope on what has been done? And I think this was something that even came up during one of the spaces, and it's like, everybody's doing the same thing already. How do we have a differentiator? And I think that's where creative excellence really comes in. How do we push beyond the basics? We've already done this. How do we make it more exciting for ourselves and for the people that we are doing this for?
So more or less, what I'm hearing is design is not for survival, or creative excellence is not for survival. It's for something else, I guess. You have a question?
So I want to just now I've been trying to gather my thoughts together. Huh? Because I want to say it. After I say it, maybe to come out. Wait. Maybe to come out properly. So just pardon me. So strive, survive, and sustain. There is sustainability. So I think Nigerian businesses, as we all know it right now, they've not been able to. Now I might be wrong, but I've not seen any business, like any Nigerian business, that has really survived or that is sustainable. Let's use that word. And I think this is where creative excellence comes in, right? Now, you can make money. You can, maybe first year, second year, third year. But is it sustainable, right? Because when we are talking about design, we are talking about us connecting with the audience, them knowing who we are. They can fight for us literally, right? And this is where creative excellence come in. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so my name is Deji. I'm a visual generalist.
Okay.
So I think it's more about differentiation. Do you understand? When you have a good creative, like excellent design, it's easy for customers to be able to differentiate, especially competing products. Do you understand? I always use this analogy like, why would people prefer, say, a Mirinda to a Fanta? Do you understand? And from there, you know, you find out that apart from the taste, apart from, it's like when you see somebody who is fine, do you understand? And you get to know the person better, you find out she's more intelligent or he's more intelligent, then you stay. But you have to be attracted first. And that's exactly how design plays, you know, a role in, you know, getting people to gravitate towards it and just being generally attractive and pass message on. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, so in this case, you're talking about design excellence. I mean, you can be differentiated and maybe your creative work is not particularly excellent, in quotes. So, so maybe you can rephrase your answer or your response, because what I think you have responded to now has to do with broad creative work, but we're talking specifically about creative excellence.
I was talking from the point of why it's important to have excellent. Like, for instance, I know many products that do not have very good creative designs, and because of that, you know, people just don't even go near it, just because the design looks a little bit off, or it looks like, I'll give you an example. Hope they are not sponsoring this event. Like, there's this drink I saw recently, Bubble Up or something, and I looked at it and the design looked dodgy, and I was like, nah, I'm not going near that thing. Do you understand? So it features in the attractiveness, the strength of it, and yeah, that goes a long way.
Thank you very much. We have very short time left. We have 2 hands raised. So I would permit one person to make comments. Every other thing has to be questions. So if you have any question around design excellence in your practice or anything you've been thinking about, right after him. Okay, you've spoken before, so let him. Sorry, let him speak. Yeah. So right after him, if you have any question, please feel free to raise your hand, and we'll just take questions and move from here.
Okay. Hi, my name is Kola. I'm a product designer. I think for design creative excellence, I think it is, especially for businesses, if you sell a commodity, shoes, computers, you can get it anywhere. Almost everybody's producing it. Just speaking a bit to what he said, how you would differentiate, how you can really differentiate and charge a premium is based on how people perceive your products, moving them away from seeing it as a commodity and then moving them to seeing it as something more. And so that's where design excellence can stand out. For example, Nike. People, when someone says, I want to buy a shoe, they don't just say, it's very different if someone says, I want to buy a Nike and I want to buy a shoe. Do you understand? People that have MacBooks say, where's my MacBook? They don't say, where's my laptop? Because they have taken a commodity like shoes or laptops or makeup products, and then with design and marketing, which is still creative work, they have positioned it in a way that it's now Apple and Fenty and Nike, and it's very different. So that would be, if you want to really stand out when you're selling a commodity, that would be one.
Excellent, thank you. 1, 2, 3. All right, so do we have any question? if you have any question around creative excellence, yeah.
Hi, my name is Dave, and I'm brand designer. I think when everyone was speaking, I think no one really emphasized on visual outlook, right? And my question is, does good visual outlook, right, in terms of brand design, does it not qualify as like visual excellence, or does it just have to do with solving a particular problem or any of that stuff? Yeah, so that's my question.
All right, so for the sake of time, I'll try to answer that question. So good visual, does it qualify as creative excellence? Absolutely, because it's creative effort, it's creative work, so it should be able to qualify if it's excellent or not. And I think the excellency of any creative work, like we said, would be contextual. So when it comes to visuals, I think the main thing is the reference point. What are you trying to do, first of all? Because there's a difference between, for a brand design, context of brand design, and there's a difference between art and design, right? So for design, you are trying to express yourself, but for design, you're trying to solve a problem. Now, you can have an artistic, the solution can have an artistic value to it, but you essentially need to solve a problem. There are people that have done packaging that look cooler or better, nicely designed, but they lost money. Do you understand? So I think creative excellence in the context of brand design now would have a lot to do with what's the business trying to do. So I had slides, but we don't have time to go through it. So one thing that I had on my slide was there are 2 points of view when it comes to creative excellence. There is the point of view of your peers, and there's the point of view of businesses. So what a business would consider as creative excellence is mostly your process. It has they don't have the taste, the level of taste that you have about what good creative work is. They don't have it. So you can give them anything, almost anything that is slightly better than what they've seen. They don't have the discernment to judge what good creative work is. So what they will judge the excellency of your work on is how you communicate, how you are able to follow a reasonable process, bring them along through the entire process to come to a deliverable. That's what they would see as creative excellence. But for your peers and your future self, you would consider, all of the, intricate finesse, how you use color here, how you applied one very, radical technique to a particular way of doing something. And I think there's a place for that. The important thing is not to be carried away, especially by like what your peers have to say. All right, one final comment from a woman this time, and then we call it a session. You've been right in front and been quiet.
I think I should just give a comment. Okay, my name is Mofolike, Folu for short. I'm a graphic designer and a podcast editor. And I think a comment for me, right, from my own field, I think what is one of the things that will qualify your work as excellent is you following the process, right? You following process, really. I think that's what I'll just say for short. Yeah.
Excellent. So a round of applause for you all. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you very much. My name is Soji. It's nice to meet you guys.
Put your hands together. Clap like you mean it. All right. We are going to the next session, which is a panel session. As you can see, there are chairs. And I asked the guy who is leading the panel session if I was on the panel session, and he just said no. Like, He didn't, I was like, do you know who I am? He's like, yeah, you're not on my panel. I really don't care. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the host of the next session, who got me coffee this morning, all the way from where he was coming. Put your hands together for Francis. He's the founder of Ninth Grid. If you know any company called Ninth Grid, he's the founder. He's my guy. I know him. I have his phone number. Just saying. So he's the founder too. Just saying. Anyway, put your hands together for Francis.
Hello, everyone. We'll be having a panel session now, and it's around. Have anybody heard about XR, like AI, AR, VR? Raise your hand if you heard about it. Okay, so few people. So we'll talk about that today. How you get started, how you can get started in it, use cases, and how we can use that to tell African stories, and what the future holds for storytelling. So on this panel, I'll be having. On this panel, I'll be having 4 amazing people. I'll be introducing them. I'll be calling their names to come forward, and they'll introduce themselves. I think they will do a better introduction for themselves than I would do. Okay, so the first person I'm inviting is Victory Brown. Victory Brown, she's a design researcher. She has worked with WHO and some of these big companies. Second person I'll be inviting is Babatunde Fatai. He's currently the lead XR engineer at MTN, and he has worked with big enterprise like PwC and all. The third person, Xavier. Xavier is an XR developer. And the last person I'll be having here is Adedamola. Adedamola is a game developer as well. Yeah. Okay, can we have mics? Okay, that's fine. Thank you everyone for coming to this session, and we'll be starting right away. Babatunde, please can you introduce yourself? Thank you.
Hi everyone. My name is Babatunde Fatai. I currently lead the Metaverse team at MTN Nigeria. I have experience in basically Metaverse, AR, VR developments, and I also have some experience in blockchain and AI. I also founded African XR Community, and that's one of, not the largest, one of the biggest community for XR, AI, and blockchain enthusiasts. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Victory Brown, and I'm a design researcher at WHO. I also work as a program manager for Design Matters. So I work mainly with designers, UX writers, design researchers, people who are interested in education. So most of my projects are in the educational aspect and healthcare. I have little knowledge about XR, but I think I have a few things that I'll share that will be relevant to the conversation. Outside of that, I do open source work, like full-time open source, contributing to open source, helping bring designers into open source, which I'll be talking about. Basically, yeah, so that's about me.
Hi guys, my name is Xavier Kusanagu. A lot of people know me as Creative Serve. I run a 3D animation studio, and I'm also a startup founder. So I have a 3D animation background. I'm a creative, and also I ventured into XR this year, building virtual reality solutions, just having fun with it and learning a lot in the process. So I'm happy to share what I've learned with you guys today.
Hello guys, my name is Adedamola Adeosi. I'm a game developer, I'm also a VR developer, and I am a storyteller. I love stories so much. And besides that, I'm also a founder of an AI startup that solves a language problem in the global community. Thank you.
Okay, so I see we are loaded with a lot of people today, and we're ready to share with them. Babatunde, I see that earlier I asked, I think it's only like 40% of people don't know what XR is all about. Can you, in a layman language, can you just tell us what XR is all about?
So the full meaning of XR is extended reality, and that's the family name for a couple of technologies, right? So we have virtual reality, which most people would be familiar with, right? Because everyone knows a VR headset, even if you've not put on one. So under XR, XR is just the name for extended reality, which is the family name. Under XR, we have virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality. Virtual reality basically has to do with, so let me put it this way, at least if you've not put on a VR headset before, I think this description would help a bit. Virtual reality is basically you living this physical world and having a virtual experience fully. And the reason I'm giving that definition is because you'd be able to tell the difference between virtual reality and augmented reality. So augmented reality, unlike virtual reality where you put on an headset and you go into a virtual world, augmented reality is actually bringing the virtual world to you, or bringing virtual items into the real world. So, for example, your face filters, Instagram filters, Snapchat filters. When you take a picture with your filter, you are putting virtual objects on your face. That's augmented reality. When you place a virtual cup on a physical table, say IKEA now, for example, you are able to check out certain furniture in your room through your mobile phone. That's augmented reality. But if you went into the virtual world completely, not bringing a virtual item here, that's virtual reality. And mixed reality is basically mixing both of them together. I hope that clarifies.
Okay, don't worry. That is great. Do anybody want to add to it? Do you want to? Okay.
So guys, this is something that I struggled to understand early on when I was trying to understand the entire space. But this is something that helped me understand it exactly how he said it. XR, extended reality, is the parent term. So when anyone says XR, they're just talking about the entire space, including everything underneath. Now, what is usually the issue is VR versus AR. Virtual reality, as I said, is putting yourself into a virtual world. So think about, has anyone played Mortal Kombat here? Yeah, you have played Mortal Kombat. So imagine the Mortal Kombat world, but you yourself are inside and you are seeing the people fighting. That is virtual reality. Now, augmented reality, you are bringing 3D objects, virtual objects into your real space. So if there is a 3D model of this microphone, then you see it in the real world. Yeah, just an example of AR is what he described, which is AR filters on Instagram, on TikTok. There is this one that I saw, this interesting one, the Lamborghini filter I saw on TikTok. It was a trend where it looked as if the guy was in the Lamborghini, but it was not really there. That is AR. So MR, mixed reality, is a technology where you mix both. So you are in a virtual space, but you can see part of your real space in it. And then the interaction is fluid. You go from AR to VR to AR to VR. So that's basically it. VR, AR, MR. Then extended reality is the parent term.
Yeah, to add to that, Quest3 has the update of mixed reality.
Yeah.
I tried out Quest3 yesterday. So we have different, the same way we have different phone makers, like the same way we have iPhone, Samsung, Tecno, we have different devices that you can use to access this technology, right? We have Oculus, we have HoloLens, and the same way we have iPhone 1, iPhone 2, iPhone blah, blah, blah. So we have Quest 2, Quest3, and Quest for Enterprise. So I tried out Quest3 yesterday, and Quest3 has this mixed reality experience, which is so cool. Adedamola, most of us here are designers and creatives. How can I get started in this field? How can I get started?
All right. Thank you very much for that question. Just like both of them have talked about what consists of extended reality. I think the very first thing to start with is to understand the concept. What is extended reality itself? And like the way they've mentioned and described it, that's exactly how it is. Virtual reality is you getting immersed into a virtual world, and augmented reality is taking what is virtual, overlaying it on the physical world. This is something we are all very, very experienced with, most especially AR, and that's using Snapchat. Is there someone else that doesn't use Snapchat? Are you here? You don't use Snapchat? Let me see your hands. But have you used it before? Yeah, of course. So all those filters that comes to life, like filters that you see overlaying, and somehow they can detect your body. So those are examples of the augmented reality. So since you already understand the concept, so I will say that there are many things that goes into it. There's so many things that goes into it, because some people specialize either in VR and some specialize in AR, and there are some who encompasses everything. Just like both of them I mentioned, two of them are both in the extended reality space. So for you to get in, you have to understand how 3D works, and you have to understand how all the engines that you need to create these things. There are different engines to create VR and AR. There are different engines. Some people make use of Unity, some make use of Unreal Engine, and so on and so forth. So you need to understand 3Ds, also understand what how to use game engines to create all of these things. Thank you.
Basically, like you said, for virtual, I can speak just to virtual reality now, because that's my space. You need to understand 3D animation, you need to understand your game engine, and usually each game engine has their language, their scripting language for building logic. So you don't need to be a pro at coding C# or coding a particular language, but just knowing the basics will help a lot. So for me, I use Unity, and I'm coming from a 3D animation background, so I already understood 3D, and I had experience when I was in school building apps, so I already had C# knowledge. So what was lacking for me was the engine. I didn't know anything about Unity. So I spent time learning Unity, building small games, Flappy Birds, little games. When I understood the engine, then I brought those three together, 3D, engine, language. So if you are going to use Unreal, you have to understand 3D still. There are a lot of 3D softwares, Cinema 4D, 3ds Max. I use Blender, and then Unreal Engine is the engine, then the language is C++. So depending on the route you want to go, those are the three things that you would need to get started.
Okay, thank you. Now to Victory. How can we improve African storytelling with AR and VR? Like, perhaps you could give scenarios and use cases.
Yeah. Okay. So I work with open source tools a lot, and open source tools are free tools, right? And recently we just completed a conference named Design Matters, and before then, my knowledge of AR and VR ended last year when the NFT hypes and people were building metaverses. I know it's still going on, but as of early last year, it was really, really in people's faces. Everybody was into NFT and all of that. That was my first contact with it. We had to work with Coca-Cola to build a virtual retail brand. Like, it was a crazy experience. Snoop Dogg bought a land, it was everywhere. So everybody wanted to build something close to his land space on the metaverse. And one of the things that I realized that storytelling has done, I'm going to try and link these two scenarios together. The conference that we had, someone talked about Nigerian typography, right? And how typography is used to communicate design. And to an extent, typography is very good with storytelling. For instance, the Nigerian typography that was created by Olushaya Shea, the founder of That Design Studios, and Danfo Typography. Now, it has, going back to your question about African storytelling, because it is Nigerian, there are several things that make Nigerian typography stand out. Like, if you keep the Danfo typography close to Helvetica or New Times Roman, you can tell the difference. And if you don't have a picture of this Nigerian typography, think of these Danfo buses, right? All of those numbers, all of those typefaces that they put there that you haven't really seen on Google Fonts. It's Nigerian brand designers that say working on that, and there are a couple of them that I know that work on that. Now, how is this communicating African storytelling? Now, when this typography or when this typeface is used in in a space where it tells the African story, for instance, now in the VRO or ARO thing, sorry, I'm not very good at that. I do more design and research. So when you build those spaces, right, and you tend to use things that are relevant to the African space, like you see Ankara, you know it's from Africa. You see those prints, you know it's from Africa. And when we talk about the African design ecosystem, we're thinking about things that we put into consideration when we are designing for African brands. For instance, this same typography, we think about elements, we like bright colors, we like patterns, doing all of those things. So if you put that thing, all of it together, and tell the story of a brand, you are kind of using the African technology space, making use of it to tell an African story. Now, how you use those things is dependent on you and the brand that you're working for to communicate those stories. Now, let's say, for instance, we are deciding to build what's an African thing that we have, maybe one African event, and we are trying to do this thing on the metaverse with AR and all of that. Using this typography, these prints that we already know to communicate that thing in the AR or VR world is a way to communicate our stories, tell our stories with these African tools or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but so do you want to add to that?
Question?
Okay, the question again is, how do we enhance storytelling with VR? Yeah.
How do we enhance storytelling?
African storytelling.
Right. Okay. So there are many ways that we pass stories across, right? You watch a YouTube video, you get a sense of like a story. One key thing that extended reality as a whole has been able to achieve is that sense of immersiveness, right? There is, you can watch a 2-minute video on your laptop screen, and you can watch that same 2-minute video in a virtual reality environment, and you would remember more, right? I would like to state statistics from PwC, but I don't remember the exact statistics. But there is this PwC report when that came out when I was still at PwC, and it's called PwC Seeing is Believing. You can check it out. So it had a lot of statistics around AR VR, and one key thing was that people tend to remember more when you teach them through extended reality, or when you teach them through immersive technologies, right? So how can we as Africans like tell our stories through this technology? First and foremost, if you had the opportunity, if you were a creative designer, if you were a developer, I would just advise that you do something that is different. For example, if you could create a 2-minute video, you could definitely put that on YouTube. You could also approach someone that does virtual reality. They create an amazing room for you, put a large screen there, and put the video there, right? That's a different way by which you are passing the same message across, right? But the virtual reality or extended reality way just makes it more immersive. So I would like to give a particular scenario, right? When I started at MTN, the first major project we worked on was actually the 5G launch, but the second major project was Calabar Carnival. And Calabar Carnival is arguably one of the biggest carnival in Africa, right? Where you have hundreds of thousands of people in Calabar. And we were in partnership with them then. And the leadership thought, oh, what could we do different apart from putting MTN banners across? Like, what exactly can we do different when it came to the carnival and our partnership with that? Hi. So what we actually did was we first went on ground to Calabar. The carnival is basically people walking around. There's already a predefined route, right? We spent weeks going through that predefined route, and we took every single thing that we saw as a monument, right? We took photographers there. Every single thing we saw as a monument, we took pictures of those particular things, and we came back to Lagos. We recreated those things in 3D, right? And what we did basically was, when that carnival was going on, we replicated that carnival also on the metaverse, so that people that were not physically at the carnival are also able to experience it on the metaverse. Now, there were certain technological challenges, right? But still, we overcame. We were able to stream the carnival as it was live into that metaverse space. That's one. And second thing was every monument that we had recreated in 3D was also there. So you could have someone in the US that has never been to Carnival that came on to that event. We had thousands of people that were attending that event that did not step foot in Calabar at all, but they knew a lot about Calabar Carnival. They learned a lot and they learned about their culture. So that was at least one practical way.
So what I'm hearing from that is localization of our visual components to build experiences in virtual spaces. Yeah, okay. You want to add to that? Okay, great.
All right, so just as Babatunde has mentioned, I would like us to travel back in time. I'd like to share a story to you guys now. I was born in this village that is surrounded by rocks. The village is surrounded by rock. Everything is hills everywhere. You can't see outside when you're in the village. All you see is rocks surrounding the place. In case you are thinking Abeokuta, it's not Abeokuta. It's a village, it's a town, small town in Ondo State called Idore. Now let me tell you something. So when I was very young, anytime my uncle comes back, I remember, okay, then I just lost my dad, so I was living with my uncle. So when he comes back from work at night, so what he does most times is that he goes inside to shower, bathe, then come back outside. Anytime he's coming outside, he comes out singing, like whistling. Then all the children will start fighting to sit down. He's coming to come and tell us what his story. So he comes with different stories. So every time he comes, when we know he's not tired, he's coming out, he comes whistling, another story is coming up. So I was always wondering that where is this man getting all of these stories? So let me give one of the stories. He said that a very long time ago, there was this time that the white people were coming to enslave Africa. They've already enslaved several states in Nigeria, almost everybody, different tribes. So when they got to my town, the warriors decided to hold their hands together. So they turned into big stones. That initially there was no stone in the town. Everything was made up of just houses, huts, and no, there was no stone at all. So the warriors decided that how can they fight with the whites? So they held their hands together and they turned to a massive stone. So when the white people were coming with their guns and all to come and attack the village, the stones opened the mouth and people went, and the white people entered and they closed it, and it has been sealed till this day. It's a story, and I know probably it might be fake or not. But when he tells all those stories, then they were so nice that we loved the experience. It was so beautiful that every single day we're always looking forward to the story. This man is going to tell us another story. All these fights. I remember that me and my younger brothers, all these fights. Who sits down in front? You go back. Let me stay here. These are African stories. I remember recently, one of my small cousins, so I was asking him that, I don't know what discussion that led to what we were talking about, and I asked him that, have you heard these stories recently? Then he said something like, no, he has never heard it. Now these stories are going. No one is telling these stories anymore. Now, what are our identities? Who are we? Where are we from? Do we even know all these things again? Are we even passing out all of these stories to our younger ones? Passing it to, explaining it. We all know does anyone know Pandora Boss here, right? Yeah, how did we know that? Through movies, right? We know about the Norse mythology, we know about the Greek mythology. We are watching them in movies, seeing them all around. But what is coming up from Africa? How are we telling our own stories also? Now, to explain the parts of the concept of XR and our stories. Now, a very good example, this is an hypothetical scenario. So let's say, for example, I'm going to use my own town as an example now. So let's say we're trying to create a project that is centered around the story I just mentioned, and to get people who are not from here. Probably some of you are not from my town, and if you are from here, my town people. So if you are not from my town, so if I want you to experience this kind of story, to listen to all of these beautiful stories. So one of the ways to go about it is to create an immersive technology, a massive project that has all of this, all of these things. Just like Babatunde said that when they went, they they pick some photographer to snap some of the monuments, then they take them, then they put them into metaverse. So we can decide to like, even till date, it don't still have all of those olden, ancient things there. So we can decide to like put all of these things into a VR. People who are not from here, probably you're from wherever it is you're not from Nigeria, can easily access from metaverse, put on your VR glasses, then you find yourself in this environment. I was going one time in Lagos and I saw I've forgotten the name of the area. I saw a place that they were creating something to represent what was the lifestyle, the ancient lifestyle, just to like convey African stories. So things like these are coming up. So African stories can be told in many ways through music. I've seen music, dance, music through movies, and also through extended reality. And this is an example. Painting it, getting what our ancient stories look like, and putting it inside a VR, and so people can experience it. And just like Baba today mentioned about the retention span that comes with VR, meaning that people get to retain more, like 4 times more than normal stories being told with oral mouth.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, thank you. Xavier, there are different ways African has been projected. Literally, we still have some biases at the moment. If you go on Google now and just type Africa and go to image, like you could literally like just do that now. And that's just type Africa and go to image. A couple of search you see are not things that represent us now, right? So talking about the current technology, how can African creators, how can people that create with different type of realities these days, how can we ensure proper representation of Africa and also monetization of those experiences?
Thanks, man. Thanks. That is a really good question. I realized this, that I know a lot about countries abroad. I know a lot about the US. I know a lot about the UK. And I've most of the countries that I can talk about, I've never been there. Then I ask myself, how do I know so much about these countries? And I realize these are contents that have been produced by these countries that have been sold to us, and then we watch it and digest it, and then we understand it. We have learned how things work over there. As he said, there are lots of stories that have been told to us that we have gotten used to. The entire story of Santa Claus bringing gifts to the children was not generated in Africa, but we took it on, we inherited it, and then we know this story today. Now, we as Africa, as a continent, we have really rich culture. We have a really rich culture, lots of stories that we could tell. There are lots of things that we could paint around ourselves to be something that represents us. So this is like a call to action to creatives out there. If you know you are an animator, a video creator, a YouTuber, a VR immersive developer, you should find ways to I know a lot of us are trying to make money. Yeah, we are trying to build our careers, but in your spare time, working on personal projects, we should try to create projects that reflect the African image. I know there are some people doing this. If you know Tayo Aino on YouTube, he's a videographer. That is his medium. He likes shooting videos. So he tells stories about places in Africa. He travels from country to country. He shows unique stories, things that I've never experienced before. There are communities in this country that I have no idea they experience. He made a video about the hyena men. I don't know if you saw that video. Tayo, I know. I never knew there was a community like this in this country, but because of his content, now I know this. And there were hundreds of thousands of views on that video. So there are a lot of people around the world that now know about that. So there are people like The Smiling Heart, Kansu. He has this series that he does, Freak the F Out. So it's like a horror series for Nigerian stories. I wonder why more people didn't jump on that. We have a lot of horror stories as Nigerians. A lot, like Miss Koikoi, that's an entire story that we were told when we were little. A lot of them, Ojuju Calabar, we were told these stories back to back. As kids, we believed them, like we were afraid of it. But these stories didn't come to life, right? So people like Council are developing animations, 2D animations, to tell this story, letting people learn about them. So depending on your medium, if you're a designer, you are an illustrator, find a way to share these stories with your illustrations, something that resonates with you. It might be a drama theme, it might be a horror theme, it might be a romantic theme, whatever stories. It can be about the Yoruba gods or the Igbo gods. You could focus on Oduduwa, focus on Shango, or whatever story that inspire you about the African culture in your separate medium. This thing is not going to happen by big studios, right? This is not going to happen by the government. It's the individual creators, you and I, creating little projects, and then over time, it becomes a movement. It becomes a movement where you see that every single creator you see around has a personal project that is related to the African culture. So if you can start that now, trust me, in little time, few years from now, the world will start hearing about our culture and our stories.
Thank you. And to add to that, Apple Vision Pro is coming out, and they've released developer kit and all these things. So please, first come, first serve. Go and develop anything and make money from it. Okay, my next question is to Babatunde. We see companies like MTN, PwC, even Chevron start to embrace the type of technology, right? Okay, so I was in a conversation with one of the IT guys at Chevron, and what they are doing about how to build simulators, VR simulators that to monitor oil rigs and for maintenance and all this kind of thing. Yeah. So how seeing companies like MTN, PwC, and Chevron essentially embracing those technology, how my question would be, what should we be looking at as opportunity as creatives in that line? And also, how can that improve the feasibility of big multinationals?
Okay, interesting question. I would like to deal with that, though the last question, I would also like to deal with that. The one about like African telling their stories.
Oh, great.
Right. So for that one, I'm not going to spend too much time. One thing that I would like to say is that for Africans to be heard, we have to create, right? It is less about talking about let someone know about Shango. Thor has already beaten Shango, right? So accept that. Start from reality, then start pivoting up, right? It's very disheartening that the stories of like Miss Koi Koi or whatever is gone, or was not made as big as probably whatever superhero it is that is coming from wherever it is. But the point is, we are currently here now, right? But in the next 20 years, no one can say whether it's Thor that is going to be big or it's Shango, right? So we can feel less sorry about what is going on and deal with reality. So if you want Africa's story to be heard and to be told, right, you start from your own domain, right? Whatever you are or whoever you are, if you're a graphics designer, make one graphics design, right, to push that culture out. And that's the only way we can get it done. No matter how big you get, say you become CEO at anywhere, I don't think you can single-handedly push the whole culture of Africa. So the best you can do is to look within your own realm and do as much as you can, right? So that's for that, right? Okay, so for the opportunities that lie and what creatives should be looking at. Before actually going to MTN, right, externally when I was at PwC, I kind of saw that soon they would need to go into XR, right? And because I saw that, I tried my best to place myself in a way where I could utilize that opportunity, right? I remembered when we launched the Vision 2025, which is basically converting MTN from a telco, which is just a telecommunications company, to a techco, which is a technology company. And the first thing I thought was, oh, if you are no more a telco and you are now a technology company, what would be the next couple of things that you'll be doing? The next couple of things they will be doing would not be focusing that much on data, although we still focus on data, so buy data, right? But it would also be, they will start thinking about a technology, how a technology company thinks, right? And I sat down, I looked at Google, I looked at Facebook, and I saw that, oh, XR, which was something that I was into, was going to be relevant to them, and I tried to place myself in a way where I would be seen and I could utilize my skill and passion for them, right? So as a creative, there are many companies, not just MTN. I think he mentioned Chevron. I was at PwC before MTN. In fact, I'm sure there are companies that it is not about checking Google. It is about like doing your research and like speaking to people within that company. You would see that there are companies that are already thinking around this aspect. Why? One thing you need to note is that you might think that a company is big, and they do not need XR, they just need to focus on their profit, but you'll be wrong. Because the largest companies of 50 years ago are not the largest companies today. And the largest company today is conscious of that fact that the likes of Nokia, that was as big as them before, is no more. So what do you think they are thinking about? They are thinking about how to innovate themselves, how to disrupt. And if they are thinking about that, then you should never ever sell yourself short in terms of, oh, that company is too big and they might not be thinking of what I am doing currently. If you are into XR, if you are into game development, you might see a company that is not into game development, but if you make your research, you'll see that game development could help them, for example, for what he said for Chevron, to create simulations, right? One key project also that we worked on was like HSC VR, which is basically going through trainings around HSC in virtual reality, right? Cool. So the point is, companies are always thinking about how to disrupt themselves, no matter how big they are. Because if you are big, then you should be afraid that you are going to fall. And if you are small, you should want to adopt more of this technology so that you will become big, right? So everybody is running. There is nobody that is seated, right? So you just have to look at the company and your skill and see how you can like sell that skill to that particular company. That's one, right? And I think can you coin the question again, please? So
I honestly think you've answered.
I've answered.
You've answered the question. Thank you for that. To Victory, and we take the last question. So for every technology that there is, technology is neither good or bad, right? Well, depending on who is using the technology, right? So what are the safety concerns? What are the things, or with the advancement of the metaverse, with the advancement of different headsets, what are the safety concerns that we should be aware of, and how can we work with policymakers to get that done and all?
Okay, so there's a project ongoing with the World Wide Web Foundation, and it's called Tech Policy for Online Gender-Based Violence. So it's basically a research that dips into gender-based violence. Now, if I'm saying gender-based violence, it means from my side. If you, as a guy, are saying gender-based violence, you're fighting for your rights. But since I'm a woman, I'm going to say, so we're actually like having this conversation on online gender-based violence, and we use the power of storytelling. So if you go to techpolicydesignlab.com, you surely find the story. We use storytelling to pass on that message about how women, especially in Nigeria, are being victimized, brutalized, violence against them on platforms. So on social media, Twitter, for instance, you cannot tweet that you're a feminist without people coming to drag you and rub your head on the ground. There's also the issue of where like nudes are being leaked and all of those other conversations. Now, one of the conversations that we're talking about is user privacy. Like, how do we protect these people who are using these things? And a lot of times when we as human beings or individuals sign up for platforms, we don't go through the code of conduct, terms and conditions and all of those things, right? Now, there are rules and regulations that are embedded in those things that are supposed to protect you. Meta, for instance, is one of the sponsors of this particular project, and there's conversation going on about how they can best make those terms and conditions visible, so that even if you don't go, because when you're signing up, you just do terms and conditions agreed and you sign up, right? So that you are forced to look at it, because they cannot reprimand you sometimes, right? They cannot reprimand you for something that you don't know. You will claim ignorance. But this one now, it needs to be more at the forefront, right? So user engagement is another thing, like data privacy. Apart from user, like when you're creating this code of conduct and terms of agreements, the user and data are two separate entities, right? User is the person, data is everything the person owns or have access to. And a lot of times we talk about how people just accept cookies and you don't know what that information you are giving out is when you accept cookies. There are several informations that you have said, yes, as I'm clicking this thing, take all of it, right? So we need to protect you from those things. So even in the metaverse, I think I don't know so much, but I know that when that thing was going on last year, a lot of people got married to people that they've never seen before on the metaverse. There was a full-on wedding. People can be daring, right? So how do you protect these people without that? As a creative, that's something you're supposed to be thinking of. How do I make my tool, my product, whatever I'm building, how do I make it safe for people who will interact with this thing? Another thing that I would say is, I don't know the kind of creators I hear. I've worked with designers, writers, project managers, and all of that, right? And another thing that we talk about is how to create things or content that stops algorithm bias. I don't know, people that work with this thing know how algorithm works. They'll just ask you certain questions and you say this and say, oh, you're the lion of the tribe of Judah, you're the this, you're the that, you're the that. So all of those things, when you do those things, there are certain ways where, certain times where your information is taken and you do not know about. So as someone who is working with product owners, you have to keep bringing this up, that we need to make sure that our product is safe. We need to, there's this movie on Netflix that if you have time you can watch, Silicon Valley, that they almost charged one of the product owners billions of dollars because people who were signing up for his products were less than 13. There is a rule that says if you're more than 30, if you're less than 30, you cannot sign up. But people would break these rules. How do you always go back to make sure that, okay, I am in line with what I'm supposed to be doing? People are actually following up. Close accounts. And when you're closing those accounts, tell them why you are closing the account. We're closing this account because you're not up to age, or you've broken one of the rules. You have violated our rules and our privacy. You are suspended, you are this and you are that. So it's for you to constantly be a part of the process. Work with policymakers as you are creating the app. Let those terms and conditions align with what is protecting users and individuals and their data. So that's basically how I see it.
Oh, thank you. Babatunde, I would love, final thought. I wanted to add to that. I want to give an experience I had using VR chat. You know VR chat now. So the first time I entered VR chat, I had to assume an avatar. You have to assume an avatar to interact with people there. So I entered one of the rooms, one of the chat room, and because I was wearing literally a black, my avatar was configured Afrocentric, and I just saw this 14-year-old, 12-year-old, and all these year-olds using efforts on me. They were using efforts on me in the metaverse, and I'm like, guy, calm down. I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. I literally had to tell them I'm from Lagos, Nigeria. And one thing I see to that is there is a lot of freedom in the metaverse that can be abused, right? And to add to what she said, there should be moderation in starting from policymakers. What are the, so when I build softwares as well, so when you're building softwares, there is always usability testing, there's always bidding for accessibility and all these things. And there are policies that guide some things like human behavioral designs or cognitive behavioral designs and all this kind of thing. So how do we ensure that we make the right policy with the right people? So are you saying, should we start having conversation with government, giving use case scenarios, like how do we start? How do we start with as little as Lagos State government? How do we start to ensure those things are being taken care of?
Right. Thank you very much for that. The story you talked about on VR chat is very familiar, right? And because there's a lot of freedom in the metaverse, there are a lot of abuse. There is a lot of abuse too. And I remember one joke. I cannot say the joke to be funny, but I think it was Ricky Gervais that said something about you are putting on a headset and you are in a room filled with people that are insulting you. What should you do? It's just an headset. Take it off, right? But you cannot take off all experiences, and you cannot be bullied to live experiences that you seek, right? So yes, the best thing, the most effective thing is actually working with policymakers, as both of them have said. But usually, if you don't have the pool, if you are not a large company, then you would not be able to access the policymakers or even incentivize them to make like the right policies. That is why even till now, Meta does not sell their VR headsets here in Africa. I'm not even saying Nigeria. Africa, they don't sell directly to Africa, right? Everyone that has a VR headset, except you saw someone that ordered it from UK then selling it on Jumia, or ordered it from UK and their auntie sent it to them, right? Everyone that has a VR headset got it outside. So Meta is not selling directly to Africa. And when I spoke to like certain people that worked at Meta, I had a different like preconception on why that could be. Before I just thought, oh, they thought Africa was not a good market because how many people can afford VR headsets? That was why they were not selling. But that was not the case because there are still people that can afford. The case was because Meta is big, when they mess up around privacy, safety, they can be sued. And the government is brutal, right? In fact, the government that is supposed to make the policy might know, I'm not talking about our government, another government, they might know that this policy should be enforced, but they are waiting for you, right? So if they had just sold the headsets here without following the due process and something happens, right, they will be sued for billions, right? So they saw that when it comes to you see when they release products, they will say it's now available in what? US, UK, but not available in other places. Why? Because they have covered their behinds, right? They have covered their behinds when it comes to policy making in those regions, right? And what the Meta representative told me then was that the Quest was for 13 years old. The Quest was for 13 years old and 13 years old people and older, right? But if they bring it to Nigeria without like going through the proper policy making and things like that, believe me, even 10 years old would have access to it. And when injury happens, there will be problems. The main reason also that they've not sold to Nigeria is because getting that policy to work in Nigeria seems like stress for them. So they would rather not sell their products to you. So I think I would like to land it to like a local setting in terms of, yes, we know that getting the policy is hard. We locally as creatives, what can we do? If we cannot approach policymakers, we can. You do have the, what do they call it, strength and the pull to approach policymakers. But in case you do not, the best thing to do is, during your creation process, you might have a small team. Your team might even just be you. It is important to also get like legal opinion, legal advice, right? You studied mechanical engineering. There's a friend of yours that studied law, right? You don't have to go to the best legal person in the world, right? Go to that your friend, right? Show your friend the product. Let them go and think from the legal perspective. Let them go and meet like people that are beyond them, right? Let them consult them around your app, your creation, and let them come back to you. Then it's not like you have to put together the best privacy policy in the world, but at least you had an outside opinion. So that's my advice. Always get an outside opinion from actual experts in the legal perspective.
Yeah, thank you so much. Just to add to that, and we take 2 questions and we are done. So if you have any question, it's time for your question. So I think sometimes last year or early this year, so Meta had like a Metaverse Summit, a Pan-African Metaverse Summit, and they just invited like 14 people across the country, and I was invited to their headquarters. And one of the things they were saying is around this, and how what the meeting is all about, calling stakeholders to understand what is going on in the African scene and how they can be involved, both from policy making to people creating those technology to also ensuring like quality assurance is being done. And with that, they develop a couple of reports to improve the technology. So I'm saying this to say that even this big tech are aware, and they are trying to see how best to achieve this and communicate this to the African market. Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. If you have any question, we're just taking 2 questions, and we will be going. Any question? Okay.
Thank you. I think this is a very amazing session. Thank you to all these speakers. So my question is on storytelling, right? And I like that each of the speakers emphasized on storytelling. But my question is, how do you avoid misrepresentation? You know, when you're telling African stories, because so personally, I like watching animes, right? And I've watched a couple of animes where they talk about, you know, Nigerian gods, specifically the Ogun, right? And it was misrepresented in like a lot of ways, right? So as African creators, I think that the question is, how do we avoid, you know, misrepresentation? Because some of these stories have, you know, become obsolete or are becoming obsolete, right? So how do we just ensure that, you know, whatever information we're getting is valid? Yeah, so that's my question.
Right. So I would address that quickly, then also pass so that the other speakers can speak. Right. First and foremost, I would like you to objectively look at the stories or things you might call misrepresentation. When it comes to oral passing down of stories, believe me, the way your great-grandmother heard it is not the way you are hearing it. So misrepresentation even started from the line down back, right? Also, some people sometimes we tend to confuse ingenuity, like a person putting their own creative edge to things, as misrepresentation, and usually it's not that way, right? If I want to recreate Shango, my thunder could be fire, right? And it's not because I'm misrepresenting. In fact, I might have the wrong story, and when I push out that story, that wrong story could be what makes Shango name heard worldwide. So yes, there's usually misrepresentation, but I usually preach against let's cry less and try to see the creativity within those diverse.
Okay, I'll just add something briefly. In literature, there's something called a call and response, right? Like he said, misrepresentation, how, right? These people are telling stories based on how they were told the stories. So that's an entry point, in my opinion, for you to tell the story that you know. So it's like someone tells a story and it's somehow, and then you're like, okay, I think there's a gap here. This helps you work on your, like, you have personal projects where you are working on. So you are now doing research to find out these things that you think are misrepresented to correct it. So you have the opportunity to make a new story, tell the story how you think, and somebody will still see yours and say it's misrepresented and tell their own. So it helps the storytelling. So let's just keep telling the story.
My own 2 cents is, who are the people telling the stories? Who are the people involved in the creative process? So the way a white guy will come to Nigeria and photograph Nigerians is different from the way we photograph Nigerians. Why? Because this is my reality. Who are the people writing the Shogun stories, right? One of the things we do at 9th grade is we create Afrocentric contents. Like we literally like go out there and take pictures that essentially like capture Africa and to better increase like the representation. So who are the people telling those stories? Are they the people that the story happened to? Are they the ones that owns the story? Because the way I will tell you about Osun State, Ile-Ife, is different from the way a Lagosian will do that. Well, because that is where I grew up all my life. That's why I spent the first 18 years of my life, right? So the way I will tell you about how we greet people is different from the way a Lagosian will tell you how they greet people there. So also like having people that owns the story, tell the story, really goes a long way in representation. Yeah. So
okay, telling stories, the 2 top ways of transmitting stories are either orally or through written means. Either orally or through written means. I remember one time I was with my friends, so we were talking about Zeus. So I realized that everyone else had different stories of Zeus, how Zeus, Poseidon, and all his brothers and sisters. So I realized that there was this part that was so similar with the stories that we have, but we all told the stories differently. And if your story is told orally, you can't expect that each household will have the same story. There will be a little thing added or removed. So that's how it has been. So your story won't be exactly like the same as others, but it will have some pivotal things that will make it like, oh, this is it. If someone tells you about a god that breathes out fire, we all know it's Shango. Every other thing can just come after. Thank you.
All right. Hi everyone. So mine also is like more of a contribution, and to build on what you said and because I was telling my friend that she's almost eating some of my points. Because if you are to talk about misrepresentation, you know, is some of the things we are talking about. Africa, in quotes, they are old, and we are new. And in order to get in touch with that old, we need to go to where that story is being told. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So more like we can't detach from the old people because they own the, in quotes, the experience of this story. So some of the things that I tend to do in order to get more facts is about maybe reaching out to, let me say, my mom, if I'm working on something. Oh, can you help me get this person, somebody that is older than her, so that my point will be well grounded. I know that I've covered more grounds in terms of new light, in terms of how tall is being represented, and I'm bringing the Africa, because I've seen African story, just like I think somebody said it, is very sweet, right? But one of the things that I noticed that is missing is that we are losing touch of getting those data from the old people that are like, let's say, 90 something, because this is where the thing is. We need to link back to our grandmas, link back to our grannies, grandpas, in order to get the raw data and build upon them to show it to the world. And also, just this is the last thing, I was showing one of my friends over there that one of the things that I tend to do, my baby is still young, but I can't take her to where the lion is, where I can bring lion to her.
Oh, the mics are working. Miracle. No, they tire Jesus. I just want to clear it away from the screen. We're just trying to clear the chair so you can see the screen clearly. That's why. Sorry for the break in transmission. All right. So, screen is ready. I'm going to introduce him again. So, we're bringing up Deji, who is a director extraordinaire. Is he? Am I correct? Oh, I have your top tip. Sorry, he gave me profile. Let me look at this so they can give me my balance. Deji is a fashion photographer and creative director in Lagos. He's worked with several big brands like Hennessy, Samsung, Absolute, Nescafe, LG, one of my favorite brands, Expo, GTCO, and Xiaomi, just to mention a few. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the extraordinary, talented fashion photographer and creative director, Deji. Clap now. Are you jealous? Clap? Put those hands together.
Hello, everybody. All right. Hi, good afternoon, people. My name is Deji Oluokun. I am going to give you a brief introduction of who I am, just in case for most of the people that do not know me. I'm a digital artist and a fashion photographer who is gradually moving to the space of creative direction. I have a background of roughly 7 to 8 years in advertising. I used to be a graphic designer / art director in 2 or 3 agencies. Currently, I'm working as a fashion photographer and a commercial photographer. Some of the clients that I've worked with are what my colleague has mentioned. In 2021, I was able to host my first solo exhibition at Terra Culture in Victoria Island. It went on for 14 days. Since that time, I've been able to exhibit at Nairobi, Kenya, and also Terra Culture for the second time. Today, I will be speaking on how I think and I'm stressing I think because most of the things that I say to many people are my opinions. So please take it with a pinch of salt. It's not like I'm trying to enter anybody anyway, so yeah. I'll be speaking on how to stay alive as a creative in Lagos. Huge shout out to Lagos Meet for having me here. And since this is a meetup for Lagos creatives or creatives in Nigeria in general, I will be speaking on how I think that you can stay alive as a creative. I've already introduced myself. The next slide will show a little bit of a chart of how or what my journey looks like. So I used to be a pencil artist. Eventually I started dabbling into painting. And in 2014 or 2013, I started learning how to use Adobe Photoshop. And that helped me, or that led me to becoming a graphic designer and eventually a full-time art director. My first agency, or the first agency I worked at was Web Coopers in Yaba. Okay, some of them are here. After that time, I moved to some other places. Eventually, I started doing full-time art direction and web design. And currently, like I said, I'm working as a fashion photographer and a creative director. These are some of the stuff that I did while I was working as a full-time art director. Can skip to the next one for time. This is my inspiration. So I think as creatives, we all sort of one way or the other seek for inspiration from someone, from somewhere, or from some things, right? So for me, I live, eat, and breathe Pinterest. I think that it's an amazing place. I somehow even think that it's sort of underrated. I don't know, maybe it's not because it's like Instagram or Twitter where you guys can always like banter and stuff like that, but it's an amazing place for creatives. Issa Rae is an amazing woman. She's someone I really look up to in terms of excellence. Starting from when she used to just be a YouTuber to having one of the most successful shows on TV. Insecure. Kevin Hart is someone that has fun with everything he does. He's a business mogul. He's just that guy that, for me, I can relate to his story, starting from where he used to be and where he is right now. I remember very well when I watched his show at Madison Garden. And after the show, he broke into tears, saying that he would be one of the few comedians that held the show at Madison Garden. And it was just an amazing story. And if any of you has probably seen his show on Netflix as well, Don't F This Up. He told the story of how he started and where he is right now. So he's a big inspiration for me. So we'll move to the topic of the day, which is how does one stay alive as a creative in Lagos? And I'll be walking you through something you guys might already know. It's a Japanese term that is called Ikigai. Okay, all right. It's a term that sort of, I think that my life revolves around it. And I think that if, as a creative, you can adopt it, you sort of kind of find meaning and fun and fulfillment in whatever you choose as your passion. Ikigai simply means that you should look for something that you are good at. Look for something that the world needs. Look for something that you can have fun while you are doing it, and also look for that same thing that can give you money. So when those four things come together, you have your Ikigai, and you have that particular thing that you can do. You can survive with it, and you can have fun while you're doing it. So I've broken it down in my own words, which is fun, excellence, impact, sustenance. Fun is what do you love? As a creative, I think that it is very important and essential to know what you love before probably embarking on your journey as a creative at all. And I'm saying this because I've been in spaces where I did not enjoy what I was doing. And I've been in spaces where I genuinely enjoyed what I was doing. And I can tell you for free that the difference is clear. Most times the things that we do or that we enjoy doing might not be giving us the kind of money that we want. Or most times the things that we do, that we enjoy doing, might not be in places where we would like to do them. So take for instance, when I started working as an employee somewhere, my first job ever was at Web Coopers in Yaba. We had two designers, myself and a good friend of mine, Kenny Akinusoye. He's one guy in Nigeria at the moment. And for a startup that was neck deep into digital marketing, and one of our biggest clients that time was Globacom. It was a problem for the two designers there to do or to make good work at the same time, do the work with the time that we have. So it comes down to one designer taking roughly like 4 different roles. So as a designer, you have to go learn how to use WordPress to build websites so that you can help Globacom edit their websites whenever they call you to edit something or to upload their new campaign. And to be honest, for someone like me, I wanted to just design and collect my 80,000 naira and go home. But I realized that what I really loved at that time wasn't what I would be doing for most of the time that I was there, which was design. I realized that I would be doing mostly, and for the graphic designers that are in the house, you know when I say one of the tasking things that you can do as a designer is resizing Google banners. So at that point, we'll do just one design, which is the key visual. Then you will break it down into like 7, 8, 9, 10 dimensions. And guess what? There are some dimensions that will be too small for the banner to work. So that means you have to break just one banner into 5, 6 different frames and convert it into a GIF. Left to me, like I said, I wanted to just come here, do great graphic design, and get my money and bounce. But I realized at that time that what we needed, or what they needed as a startup, was more than that. So I had to adapt. And that led me to having to learn what WordPress was, how you could work with WordPress. Actually having to learn what animation was as well, so that you can convert stuff into GIFs, etc., etc. So there are times that the things that you love to do might not necessarily be enjoyable wherever you're doing them. So it's not a factor if it is best for you to live where you are so that you can go elsewhere to do the stuff that you love to do, or you can adapt and even gather more stuff to the things that you already enjoy doing, which was what I did that time, because eventually I think that it's my journey from Web Coopers that has sort of led me to where I am today. What are you good at? Sometimes what we love to do isn't what we are good at. And I've sort of experienced that with many of my friends. A good friend of mine, Jordan Belonwu, who isn't here today, is currently working as a brand designer and an art director. When I met Jordan in 2015-16, Jordan was working as a graphic designer in the company where I was. But man, he did not enjoy graphic design a bit. As a matter of fact, most of the stuff that he was given to do that time, he would come meet me and say, we should sort of swap roles. If I had anything that required brand design that time, I would give to him because, God, he loved designing logos. So I would give those things to him, and he would probably give me some sort of like a communication design thing that we needed to do for one of our biggest clients that time, Union Bank. I'm saying all these things because these are the experiences that I have gathered along the line, and I think that 80 80-90% are things that are very, very relatable to the creatives that are in the room. So you need to factor what you are good at, and also if you enjoy doing what that thing that you are good at. I'm so happy for Jordan Belongu right now because he's doing what he really loves to do. What does the world need? Which is the third one, is if you are having fun with something and you think that you are good at it, do you think the world needs it? This is a very good question that you have to ask yourself as a creative, because if you want to survive in Lagos, someone has to buy whatever you're doing. You have to sell. You have to scale. So you are very good at speaking, or you are amazing at painting. We all know that these two things, if you don't scale to a certain point or to an extent, no one is probably going to buy your market. So what I'm saying is this. Most of us know I said what I said podcast because probably they've been doing this for years, right? And most of us probably know Fisayo Fosudo, who is a YouTuber right now, and he probably started like 7 or 10 years ago when you guys were not subscribed to his YouTube channel. But right now, he's probably doing amazing with what he loves doing. He's probably doing amazing with what he is good at. And he's probably doing amazing because people need the information that he has about tech stuff in general. I think he's also doing stuff about economics and accounting and stuff like that now. So you need to factor out if the world needs what you love to do and what you're good at. The last thing which is probably the biggest is sustenance for someone that lives in Nigeria. We all know what exchange rate is saying at the moment. I remember very well my first job, like I mentioned to you guys, which used to be 40,000 naira, and eventually I got promoted to blah 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 blah. But I remember very well when I left the place, I was getting 80k, and this was in 2014 or 2015, can't remember. We used to have big plans of someday we are probably going to go to some other company in Jan to be doing the same stuff we're doing right there, and we'll be getting more money. I remember very well that my friend that time, which was the second designer, Kenny Akinsoye, who has traveled now, because he wanted to actually really travel, and he has gone now. He used to tell me that, don't worry, just be doing this thing. In 2 years now, we'll go ja. That was 2014. I'm still in Nigeria. He has traveled. My point is, Kenny held on to design because that was what he loved doing. I mean, that is what he loves doing. Still doing it. And he thinks he's really good at it. God, Kenny's good with details. And he believed that he could be paid more for it. And so then he wrote courses, he started doing, they'll put my name in a pool or something like that. I honestly don't know what these things are. And then he got a big job over there and he traveled. Because he felt it can be paid for whatever it is that he loves doing. So as a creative, I'm going to charge you, I'm going to sort of suggest advice that you should make sure that all the other three things, which is fun, making an impact, which is what you're good at, or what the world needs, you should make sure that these things, you can actually be paid for it. And then it comes to the question of, what if I want to be doing these things and I do not want to be paid for it, which is fine. Some of us are doing some things that we don't mind if they give us good money for it or not. Is actually okay. But if you want to survive as a creative, that would mean that you probably have to do something else to get money. I'm a big fan of Double Hustle or Double Your Hustle. So if you want to be doing something for fun by the side, which is probably painting as your hobby or something like that, you should probably pick up another job that you can be getting money from. This is my case study that I will be running you guys through using the Ikigai term or the Ikigai rule, which is the LG case study. This thing has gone. We have gone. to the back a bit. Yeah, thank you. Early this year, I intentionally picked this project because the four things that I've mentioned right now sort of revolve around the project. I'm going to let you guys know in a minute. So I got contacted by LG to do a shoot for them, which I think was a big deal at the time. It's still a big deal now, to be honest. Their office, first of all, I'm going to give you a little bit like a 2-minute backstory of what it felt like working for LG as a creative in Lagos. Their office is at Admiralty. There's somewhere they call something Towers. I've forgotten what the name is. This place has like so many companies in the same building. And I remember very well that while I was working in one of my agencies, we had a brand that used to use that same office, which was Jameson. Jameson used to have their office in there. So I went with one of my bosses at the time. We were trying to get a job from them, which was maybe like 5 years ago. And I was trembling when I got to the office because like I saw like faces that I used to see on TV. Because Jameson used to be very big at the time in terms of celebrities. They were working with, when Thames was just starting at the time, they were working with them SDC and so many names like that. When LG called me for the job early this year, I was the only person that had to go meet them in their office, which was in the same building. And when I got there, it was just a full circle moment for me, because then at that time, I now had people asking me, who do you want to see? What office do you want to go to? And then they were just rallying around me and stuff like that. And it just really felt sort of like a fulfilling period for me, for where I used to be and where I'm at right now. So the LG case study, what do I love to do? I think that basically since the beginning of what I've been saying, you guys will probably like have figured it out. I love art in its entirety. Anything that you do that is artsy, I'm there. Colors, design, layouts, like just anything that you can do that can be fancy. Like the way the chairs here are arranged, they are mind-blowing for me. So I really love it. So when LG came to me that time and they wanted me to take the project as a whole and sort of like do whatever I would like to do, it was a blessing, because most brands don't want you to do what you want to do. So what I love to do showed in what I did for them, and what I was good at, or what I am good at. Since I started photographing, people have sort of noticed that I love playing with colors a lot. And in terms of colors, how to match colors together, what colors work for this, what colors work for that. In terms of the presentation, in terms of the pitches that you send to your clients, how you create it, kind of colors you use. When I was going to send their mood board or the storyboard to LG, I made sure that I went to their website, kind of learned the brand, the colors, and the way they even their font, they had to download it. Just to be intentional with the things that we are going to be sending to them. What does the world need? Definitely here, they wanted to launch a new Bluetooth speaker, which was sort of going to be more expensive than the ones that they already have. And it has like a lot of functions. So what they need was something that people would see and they wouldn't mind dipping hand in their pocket to buy the stuff, no matter the price. So that was what they needed. And what did I think I was going to be paid for that project? I felt like being different sort of helped me get the job. And what I'm saying is how we thought about the project as a whole, the positioning, the kind of talents that we sent to them that we're going to photograph, what they looked like, and just in general, how we're able to present to the client to say, if you do it like this, this is how it goes to be. Because honestly, it's LG. They probably had like 10, 15 other decks that they were reviewing at the time. So I felt like I could be paid for being different in the approach of, I mean, it's a Bluetooth speaker, right? People would probably send mood boards of people partying or something like that with a Bluetooth speaker. So I felt like there could be an edge to what I was going to send to them. And the next slide is the mood board that we sent to them, just like 3 references of from the mood board we sent to them. So for me, I felt like we could have some sort of fashion in there, and we could have some sort of just people looking swaggy, people looking fresh for this stuff, so that, I mean, as probably like a tech bro, as probably like a designer, as a style boy or a fashion boy somewhere, somehow, you could think that if you have this speaker, it would add to your aesthetics, right? It will add to who you are. It will add to what you stand for. So the way I looked at it was, instead of having like people partying or just like, let's look at young people having maybe like games nights, right? Let's look at people being like around swimming pools. Let's look at actual people being styled up and standing next to the speaker to see that these are the kind of audience that we are looking at. So this is just like a frame out of like 20-something slides that we sent to them. And the next 3 slides are what we eventually created for them. Yeah, you can go to the other ones too. I remember very well when I sent the photos to them for them to select. I got like calls from 3 different people in the office. I was interfacing with just one of them, but 2 other people collected my number and it was like, we want to talk to this guy. And what they said to me was, this was the first time they will be doing a shoot like this as a brand. And they are not saying that as a bad thing, they're just saying that it just gives them a different view as to how they can create as a person. I remember very well when I went to the office to return the speaker that we used. Their graphic designer was thanking me that the way we placed the people there, he can easily fix in the text. Thank you, my work day is you. And then it was just saying a lot of things about the composition, about the colors, that he didn't have to do too much. He would just put his text and stuff like that. And if you've walked into any LG office recently, you will probably see one of these photos and how they've actually placed the text on the stuff. So in general, I have a lot at the back of my mind I would love to do as a creative, and I genuinely think that most of us here also kind of do. If you think that you're having fun where you are right now with what you are doing, and you genuinely think that you are good at it, if you are not good at it, please work on it. Take courses, ask questions from people that you think that you look up to. If you can reach them, fine. If you cannot reach them, look for the ones that you can reach and ask, like, genuinely ask questions of how you can scale, how you can be better at what you're doing or what you're good at. And please make sure that the world needs what you're doing. Make sure that the world needs what you're doing. I saw someone tweeting something recently that most of the tech companies that we have in Nigeria are fintechs. And I was like, bro, it's probably what Nigeria needs or what Nigerians need. That's what they're looking at. I mean, you can't just start a company and people are not patronizing you. So what's the point? So let's say tech companies, they've sort of done the survey and they've seen that people and banking in Nigeria are enemies. People always swearing for GT on their this thing, Access Bank, blah, blah. And they've seen that people really need this stuff. Maybe that's why we have more fintechs than any other kind of tech company. And also, be really, really, really sure that you can make good money from what you're doing. Thank you so much. I have a 1-minute reel that I would like to show you guys, if I sent it to. Thank you, guys.
First off, please put your hands together for Deji. Secondly, I would like to sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, apologize for our tardiness today. I understand that we're a little bit all over the place. However, tomorrow, we will do our best to be better prepared and learn from our mistakes today. And if you do show up tomorrow, it will be a smoother. Is it smoother or smoother? Well, it will be a better experience. Just a few housekeeping rules. I would like to thank our sponsors who have helped us make this happen today. Please put your hands together for the good guys at Meta. Frame GDI or Frame Giddy. New Conti and Conventi, and these are our partners who have contributed and helped us make this happen. Meta has a lounge at the back, so you can go to their lounge. Frame Giddy also has a lounge at the back, so you can go to their lounge. There's also food courts outside. There's also live graffiti painting going on from Collide Prime outside as well. There's also like a creative futures room downstairs where you can try out Nigerian games on PlayStation. What else? Yeah, there's also food outside. There's a food court outside. I don't know if the food is free. Is the food free? No, it's not free. Okay, you have to pay for the food. But is it like a la carte, continental? Is that kind of, okay. Is it like amala, bakery, and ewedu? No. It's like bougie food. There's amala. Oh, there's amala. Okay, yeah. So yeah, there's stuff outside. Now, here's an option that I want to pose to you guys, and you guys can agree if it's going to work or not. Now, we have a little bit of a snafu with the DJ setup, right? It's not anybody's fault. Now, the only option to hear this DJ really give us this bedu is to use the mic and connect and just put the mic like a local church to the iPad to hear the sound. Can we try that out? Because the only other option is to have her play at the after party later. And I'm not sure that all of you want to come to the after party on the island. So after party or here? Oh, okay, wait, let's vote for it. Those in favor of after party, raise your hands. Those in favor of the DJ playing at the after party, raise your hands. Those in favor of the DJ playing with a microphone like a local church, raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. So, as INEC, I'm going to use my veto power because I'm going to the after party. Let's try it. If it sounds nice, then we enjoy small, maybe like 5-10 minutes. If it doesn't sound nice, then we'll just call it quits and you guys can come to the after party. If you don't come to the after party at that point, I really don't care because I've tried for you here. Are we all in agreement? You are not sounding like you are convinced. Or should I play music from my phone? Okay. All right, now let's try it. Amaka, let's do this thing now. Don't fold my hand. Come on and play this something for us. Eh? You people should give your hands together for Amaka Joe. Clap your hands. Let's just try it. Me and you, we're going to DJ together. I can bring my laptop and pretend I'm doing something. Put Put your clap now, clap, guys. Come on, encourage her. She's a world-class DJ. Oh, don't be looking at her like this. That she DJs in places in the UK, in Casablanca, in Brazil. No, now come on. Call for in places like Hong Kong. In Bath. Do you know Bath? It's Yeah. DJ play. DJ play.
Are you ready?
We're almost there, guys. Just some few seconds and we'll be live. Sorry, guys. Few more seconds and we'll be live. I promise you, this music is gonna be what you wait. I think you get it. What do you guys think so far? This is DJ Amaka on the DJ Billy's room on the beat. Hey, what do you guys think? Hey, what do you guys think? Hey, what do you guys think? You are not responding to me. What do you guys think? Okay, kids, if you want to hear the rest of the mix, you come to the after party. Shobo, clap for me now. Clap for me and Amaka. We tried to give you good music, but you know, just couldn't happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, there are other activities outside. We have technically come to the end of the show today, day one. Tomorrow will be better or better, depending on what part of the world you're from. Thank you everyone for coming. I'm really grateful. Thank you to the press. Thank you to the sound team. Thank you to DJ Billy's room. Sadly, we couldn't give you guys great jams. Thank you to all the speakers and all the panelists. Metal Lounge is at the back. I don't know if they have any freebies for you guys, but go check them out. Frame Giddy is at the back. You guys can follow us on Instagram at Lagos Meet. DJ Billy's room. What's your DJ something on Instagram? There's no Instagram. There's TikTok. There's no. You don't have like a DJ something. Okay, well, DJ Lagos Meet. So see you guys tomorrow, bright and early. We start at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. We'll be on time. We'll probably close by 1 p.m. tomorrow. 9 to 1. We'll be done. It'll be quick. Probably less than that, but sharp. No waste of time. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you at the after party. Clap for me now. Why are you doing like this? Jesus Christ.
ṣá ó lè pààrọ̀ nígbà kí ló fún lòdò ẹ̀yẹ ló fún lòdò kí ló rí lòdò àwọn èèyàn ló máa ń rí lulẹ̀ má tẹ̀mí mọ́lẹ̀ owó àtẹ̀jú ilẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ kó má bàjẹ́ balẹ̀ ìwọ ló máa fi ìkólẹ̀ mo fi ìkólẹ̀ fún wa sójà mẹ́ta gbòòsà ìlú kan máa fún mi lọ́wọ́ mi bí ìjà késekése kàṣà kàṣàkàṣà blanca òkun bá fi ṣàtà step on the seat àmọ́ kò ṣù dànù àtàn lọ́sẹ̀ kan ìtànà onídèjì kan.
Make me sweat, make me harder.
Check my check, 1, 2, 3.
Make me water, make me sweat.
So anyone who's interested in going for the after party, please come and meet me so I can know how many people are going. Aside DJ Bliss, aside DJ Amaka,